There are two unbeaten teams in the NBA, the 2-0 Seattle Supersonics and the 4-0 Los Angeles Lakers, the most talked about team in the league. Welcome to the sold-out SBC Center in San Antonio, Texas, as the Los Angeles Lakers play the defending NBA champion San Antonio Spurs. With Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, this is Kevin Harlan. The Spurs come in at 3-2, but tonight, Doug, playing without their two best players, Tim Duncan and point guard Tony Parker. Let's give you the McDonald's starting lineups tonight with Devin George, Karl Malone, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Gary Payton, the Laker 5, Bruce Bowen, Malik Rose, Rasho Nesterovic, Manu Ginobili, and Jason Hart, one of 5 point guards who have played for the Spurs in camp, in the exhibition season, and in the regular year.
Kevin, I think the big question tonight for San Antonio, we know they're going to compete. We know they have great heart. The question, can they score enough points? Their starting 5 averages 39 points a game. The Lakers, 87.5.
We go inside as Payton dishes it off to Shaquille O'Neal. Nesterovic with some defense, and Rose is there, and a foul called. It's on the Spurs, and they're going to put it on Hart. First on him.
This will visually give you an idea of what I was talking about with our graphic, but the numbers, this is what the starters for the Spurs are averaging going into this game, 39 points. You see the Lakers at 87.5 points. The Lakers have 6 guys averaging in double figures. But interestingly enough, when we talked to Greg Popovich before the game, I thought, he'd want to keep the tempo down, try to keep the game in the 80s. He says, Doug, we've got to run, because if we don't, we won't be able to score in the half court. So look for them to push the tempo here and try to get early offense if they can.
They'll want to do that. Shaq goes 1 of 2 from the line. He was 8 of 9 in his first 9 free throws in Milwaukee on Tuesday. And here's Manu Ginobili. And the former Minnesota Timberwolf, Nesterovic, gets his own miss and puts it in.
He is really starting to come alive. He's had 2 very good back-to-back games. You can see him starting to feel much more comfortable in his San Antonio Spurs uniform.
Our officials tonight, Jess Kersey, Mark Davis, and Jack Neese, a veteran crew. Good pass. Jack into Kobe Bryant.
Well, you can see off the ball, this is where Kobe is playing so much more this year, not handling the ball as much, saving his energy for the 4th period. It was very, very important in Milwaukee the other night. He had 13 points in the 4th quarter to help him pull that game out.
Here's Nesterovic against Shaquille O'Neal. And Rasho hits his first 2 shots. He is coming off a 13-point, 14-rebound game against Memphis a couple nights ago.
Kevin, his first 2 games of the season, he had played 31 minutes total. He had not played 1 minute at all in the 4th period. That has now changed as he's gotten better.
40-year-old Karl Malone. Kobe Bryant off balance and down the lane. Shaq gobbles it up and puts it in.
If the Spurs have a weakness, especially without Duncan in the game, it's their defensive rebounding. They're going to have to do a good job. The Lakers, one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the league.
Here's Jason Hart, who played at Syracuse. He was cut from 2 different NBA camps this fall. Lands in San Antonio. Ginobili for 3.
That is huge. But Ginobili has really been struggling. Actually, he shot the 3 pretty well at 35%, but he's been shooting 30% from the 2-point line, so he needs to find his offensive legs.
There's Shaq. And Karl Malone, who is averaging a double-double, 15 points and 10 rebounds a game. Ginobili with the rebound. Lakers a good rebounding ball club. They get it inside to Malik Rose, who fumbles it away, and Gary Payton comes the other way for Los Angeles.
Got to be very careful in traffic. Lakers have quick hands. They look to get out in transition now a lot more than they did last year, as Payton finds Karl Malone easily inside.
And now Hart to Bruce Bowen, who led the NBA a season ago in 3-point shooting. Nesterovic will set a screen, and Bowen from 2. And Malone was held, but he gets the rebound. 35-year-old Gary Payton down the lane and scoops it off with Nesterovic defending. And the Spurs the other way. Jason Hart throws, and he throws it away, picked up by Kobe Bryant. Into the trailing Gary Payton, up and down.
Turnovers, big key for the Spurs. They're a high turnover team anyway, but when you are struggling to score, you cannot give team easy points, and that's exactly what they've done the last couple possessions. 2 easy scores for the Lakers.
Here come the Spurs. They have hit 3 of their first 5 shots to begin the game. Ginobili around the Rose screen, scoops it off. Nesterovic left wide open.
Good penetration.
Lakers have started the game 4 of 8 on the field. And they go inside with Shaq. San Antonio already +2 in rebounding, but another throwaway. It's Payton to Bryant.
That's careless play by Malik Rose. That's 3 turnovers in a row for him.
And a turnover the other way for the Lakers. That's the first for Los Angeles. The Spurs have 3 so far in the opening moments of the game.
Kevin, you want to run, but you got to run efficiently. You can't run yourself to an early defeat.
Hart, this match against Malone, and inside he plays.
Now how about Jason Hart? 10 days ago, he wasn't even on this roster. Do you think that Greg Popovich thought that he would be playing Jason Hart and Shane Heal as his point guard at this point in the season? I don't think so.
Each team is led by as many as 2 points, and here comes Kobe Bryant, guarded by Bone, who gave Kobe fits last year in the playoffs.
Well, their whole philosophy last year with Kobe was they're going to wear him down. They're going to make him handle the ball, link to the floor, and come fourth quarter time, they want him to be tired. If he's going to get 30-something points, take 30-something shots, and Bowen did his job. With the addition of Gary Payton, a lot of that ball handling responsibility now is off of Kobe's shoulders. He's getting down the floor to conserve himself.
But Kobe still doesn't have his basketball in.
No, he doesn't. But he's getting better every night.
Shot clock at 1. Payton's got a fire. Ginobili was there, and a foul.
When we look at the matchups, Ginobili is playing Gary Payton. Normally, it should be Jason Hart, point guard against point guard, but this is what Greg Popovich was worried about with Payton getting down on that baseline. Let's see here if he gets him. I don't know if he got across the arm. Looked like that he got the ball at the top of the flight. Might have came across his arm, but the matchups here are Jason Hart is actually playing Devin George. They want Ginobili to take away Payton's post-ups, and they want Bowen to stay on Kobe Bryant.
Here's Payton. Doug was just talking about how he's setting up others. Right now he is number 3 in the NBA in assists.
Well, 8.5 assists a game, only 1.5 turnovers, so the assist to turnover is fantastic.
Game's leading scorer so far is Nesterovic. He's got 6. Malik Rose. And a rebound by Devin George, who has shot the ball so well to begin the season, over 60% from the field.
Well, it started opening night against Dallas. Remember, he hit his first couple shots, and it's carried right over, Kevin.
With Shaq drawing the double to get that one dribble down, and they're on him quickly. The Spurs defense is a second Los Angeles turnover. It's Bowen, Nesterovic. They bring Shaq out a little bit. Just everything on the play.
Shaq gave him a couple baskets early. That time he tightened his defense down.
Lakers so far have not attempted a three-point shot. And a little maneuver by Malone to get in tight. Shaq stepped out of bounds.
How about Malik Rose? You have to love him. I mean, this guy is so tough. He's got his body pinned up against Shaq, and Shaq just moves him out of there. He did step on the line. But this is why the Spurs, one of the reasons why they were able to win championships, they have a great player in Tim Duncan, but they have guys with a tremendous amount of courage and competitive spirit. They are not going to roll over tonight.
The NBA on TNT tonight, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. The official airline of the NBA, Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. By America's dairy farmers and milk processors. By The Answer 7 from RBK, from Reebok in stores tomorrow. And Bank One. Find the credit card that fits you best. Individuals answers. Bank One.
Well, earlier today I spoke to Will Sevening, the Spurs athletic trainer, and he said that he had never seen this amount of injuries this early in the season, all at the same time. And Kevin and Doug, as you mentioned, of course, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker out with the ankle injuries. Now, even though Robert Horry is playing tonight, he has been slowed by a strained groin, and you see that 3 other players are on the injured list. Now, I was told that Tim Duncan will miss the next 2 games against Dallas and Utah, but the swelling is down in the left ankle, and he is currently working on his strength. Some good news for Tony Parker. He will miss only 1 game, but he's had 3 solid workouts. He will practice with the team tomorrow just to see where that left ankle is at, guys.
Well, Cheryl, I think also, too, that Greg Popovich would like for Tony Parker to game here at home before they go to New Jersey. I don't think he wants them to go to New Jersey his first game of the year and play against Jason Kidd. You know, all the rhetoric that Jason Kidd possibly coming here.
Did you see that play by Manu Ginobili, a second-year player, who put up a dazzling shot right into the teeth of Shaq's defense?
He is a slasher, a cutter, and he is fearless. And the thing that makes him also deadly around that basket is he's a left-handed player. And you're just not used to lefties and where they release the basketball.
That's a good point. Like a quarterback, a left-handed quarterback in football with a different spin on that ball.
Exactly right. But I think you can see that the Spurs have come out, and they're not playing with a lot of pressure. They know the pressure's on the Lakers tonight. They're playing pretty loose and free.
Spurs just hit their first free throw tonight. They go to Malone. Nesterovic with his 6 points, the game's leading scorer. Shaq has pulled down 3 rebounds. Rebounding even 6 apiece so far. As you take a look at Phil Jackson with a casual look tonight.
I think Phil feels very good about this road trip. He feels like this is going to be a great time for the Lakers to come together. This little road trip that they're on. They go to New Orleans tomorrow night.
Boy, Malone slapped that ball away. That is what has made Karl Malone such an incredible defensive force over the years. His quick hands to knock that ball.
Well, he's never really been a big shot blocker, but you bring that down and he will strip the ball loose from you. You know, one of the things everybody's talking about the Lakers and their offense, they're averaging 103 points a game, 27 assists, which is first in the league or whatever, but I think the improved defense is where you're really going to tell the difference in this team and last year's team.
Malone picks up his first foul. We're in the first quarter where there have been 7 lead changes so far. Ginobili wheels inside. Nesterovic. Nesterovic with 8 points. He has gone 4 of 6 to begin the game.
This is the best I've seen Ginobili play this year. I know it's early, but he's playing with a lot of confidence tonight.
It's Karl Malone fighting through his screen. Malik Rose was trying to climb through the screen. And Malik Rose picks up his first personal foul of the game.
I think they're going to call it after the shot. The shot is released, and then you can see he continues on through and gets Malone, so I don't think it's going to be a 2-shot foul. I think they're going to take it sideline out here, Kevin.
Spurs on a 7-1 run. There have been no changes for either starting lineup so far. Approaching 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. It's Shaquille O'Neal against Nesterovic.
Stop that.
He's got 5. Bowen to Rose. Malik Rose from Philadelphia against Karl Malone.
Malik is forcing things here tonight. He's forcing shots. He's got 3 turnovers. He's got to calm himself down. He's a very emotional player.
Great pass into Bryant from Karl Malone.
Now Kobe now has 2 field goals just moving without the basketball. Bruce Bowen, when he catches him on the dribble, really fights him. Off the basketball, he gets open a lot easier.
Here's Jason Hart. Ginobili there quickly doubled. Now George takes to the perimeter. And almost a throwaway. Hart left free to punt. And he's not much of a scorer. He's not much of a shooter, but he got 2 right there. Malone again with an assist, this time pitching it off to Gary Payton.
That time it was Karl Malone in the post rather than Shaquille O'Neal. Both of those guys are excellent passers. And you know what? When you play with a good passer, Kevin, you know what you do? You always cut because you know you get a chance to get the ball.
Karl Malone is averaging 5 assists a game. Quick outlet to Payton. No looking off to Kobe Bryant for 3. And Kobe Bryant, who is number 10 in three-point shooting, carries a bomb, and he's got 7.
Transition offense. We did not see that from the Lakers last year. Everything was half court. Now they are getting some fast break points. Big difference with Malone and Payton running out with Kobe on the break.
Each team has hit a 3-point shot so far in this game as Nesterovic goes across the lane. 5 of 7 and a game-high 10 for Nesterovic. And the Lakers come the other way, having hit their last 4 consecutive shots. And a foul assessed on Nesterovic, number 1 on him. He's taking the place during the season for David Robinson. Tonight he's replacing Duncan and Robinson. That's a tall order.
You know, Kevin, as a coach, you never want injuries, but sometimes it helps players grow. And with Duncan being out of the lineup, it's forced Nesterovic now to be a bigger part of what this team is trying to do. So when Duncan comes back, he should be the better for it as well as the team. Most everything the Spurs used to go through David Robinson. Then he passed the torch to Tim Duncan. And now this young guy, Rasho Nesterovic, is really starting to take a big step in the right direction for this team.
Kevin Willis has just taken his place. New Lakers, Derek Fisher, who is having a great season, coming off the bench and finds 2. Both teams are shooting over 50% for the game.
Don't be surprised if Derek Fisher is 6th man of the year this year. He's found a role with this team. He'll do whatever's necessary, shooting it well, and gives them a great spark when he comes in.
And a 20-second timeout tomorrow night on ESPN. It's the Timberwolves and the Magic, followed by the Trailblazers and the Sonics. Coverage beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern time on NBA TV. It's the Mavericks and the Spurs. Saturday night, 8:30 at the Eastern time zone, 7:30 Central. And Sunday, it'll be the Kings taking on the Celtics at 6 o'clock Eastern time.
Kevin, it'll be interesting tomorrow night to watch Seattle. That'll be their first game back since they've been to Japan. And Rashard Lewis has gotten off to a great start, and we'll see how they react after that long trip where they beat the Clippers twice.
Phil Jackson has said this season will be a season of suspicions and hopes. They could win 70 or implode. The story continues on TNT.
3:09 remaining here in the first period. The Lakers by 1, 21-20, but a great start by Rasho Nesterovic. Second shot opportunity, then he steps out of the post, squares up and hits a little jump shot. Great penetration by Ginobili, finds the big man for the easy dunk. And then once again the penetration, the little fading jump shot. 5 of 7 for Rasho, 10 points, a great start for him, and once again a very positive sign for the Spurs as they try to put these new faces together with all the injuries, Kevin.
The 10 by Nesterovic leads the game. 4 rebounds by Shaq leads that department. Ginobili has 3 assists. Robert Horry, the ex-Laker, is on the floor. Off to Jason Hart, Kevin Willis in there. And here's Hedo Turkoglu, the ex-Sacramento King. Rebound by Devin George.
Hedo's going to be very important for this team. He can give them instant offense off the bench.
Ryan Russell, a guy you had with Washington a season ago, and now a Laker with a miss. And punched down to by Jason Hart.
Brian's going to have to start knocking that open jump shot, and he's 4 of 12 on the season, only 1 of 7 for 3. He's going to get that shot with this team, Kev.
Here's Turkoglu into Robert Horry, who won a couple of championships with the Lakers. And a foul as he tries to go inside on Devin George, who picks up his first foul.
Robert Horry is a big game player. He's the kind of guy that, sometimes he'll sort of coast through the regular season, but playoffs, he's always been tremendous. Last year, he struggled. 2 of 38 from the three-point line, Kevin. He had a three-pointer that would have won the one game that I think that would have evened the series at 2-2. Missed that shot, and now is with the San Antonio Spurs. Interestingly enough, you look at his career, he's played with Hakeem Olajuwon, who was the #1 pick. He's played with Shaq, who was the #1 pick, and now Tim Duncan with the #1 pick. In his words, he said, I know how to coattail very well.
You're a very smart guy. 33 years old, 12 years out of Alabama. Rebound by Russell, who spent the majority of his career with Malone up in Utah. The final 2.5 here in the first quarter for San Antonio. Knocked away the shot clock at 16 seconds. We've had 10 lead changes in this game so far. And both teams are shooting about 60% from the field.
The Spurs only 36% on the season. They're getting very, very high percentage shot. And Nesterovic off to a great start, 5 of 7.
With Shaq across the lane and fouled on the play. Looked like Robert Horry got a hand on him. Lakers have led by as many as 2, and the Spurs have led by as many as 6 in this first quarter. Shaq will be at the free throw line. Every time you think of Shaq, you think of great Lakers centers and great centers overall in the history of the NBA. But who is the greatest center of all time? Is it Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain, George Mikan, a Minneapolis Laker, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaq, or Bill Russell? You can vote right now on NBA.com.
I'll take any of them and win some games. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Whoever you don't want, I'll take the rest of them. But interestingly, Kareem, Wilt, Mikan, and Shaq all played for the Lakers. Now George Mikan was the Minneapolis Lakers.
Yes,
all Lakers centers. That's sort of amazing, isn't it? That those guys who all played for the Laker organization.
Here's Jason Hart, who is the all-time steals leader in the great history of the Syracuse basketball program. Kevin Willis, who had his 17,000th career point a couple nights ago, and that's knocked out of bounds. 17,000 career points. Kevin Willis in his 20th season out of Michigan State.
And look at he and Karl Malone out there. When you see those guys, two of the most physically fit players in the NBA. Credit to their work ethic.
Gary Payton, Fisher, George, into Brian Russell, guarded by Turkoglu. And George looking for three and well off on that one, but picked up on a nice deflection by George at midcourt.
Did that hit the rim?
And that's what they're going to figure out as Jess Kersey has stopped play. Shot clock did recycle.
Yeah, it did.
Lakers come in at 4-0. The Spurs undefeated at home at 3-0. I don't think it did.
I don't either. I think that might be a shot clock violation.
It's tough to see there. The standard got in the way.
Well, it missed so badly, Shaq couldn't get his hands up to protect himself. That's how far the shot was offline. I think they're going to put 2 seconds on the shot clock here.
We have two interesting coaches. These are the only two active coaches in the NBA who have won a championship on the bench now that Pat Riley has resigned. Here tonight, the Spurs, Greg Popovich, and the Lakers, Phil Jackson. Quickly, Payton double-teamed and hand-in, and Willis with the rebound. Here's Jason Hart. Last cut in the Seattle Supersonics training camp. Tried out in Houston, didn't make that. Was at the airport waiting for a plane to take him back home when the Spurs called. Hart's got it. Shot clock is down to 5. Dancing on Fisher. And around Fisher. Rejected by Shaquille O'Neal. And here comes Derek Fisher the other way. Payton, George. Lasers one inside. Picked off by Kevin Willis.
Too unselfish. He had to take that shot. Shaq had a good rebound position.
Willis at the miss. Lakers are +4 so far in rebounding tonight. Shaq's got 5. Fisher. And double-teamed is Shaq. And every time he dribbles that ball, even one dribble, bang, they're going to quickly try to claw him in with the double team.
That's a good call. That's Spurs' game plan. If they don't go to the double team until he bounces the ball, then they're going to get down on top of him and try to make him pass it.
Lakers do have a foul to give.
He was just too strong on that one.
Here's Turkoglu coming off a poor season in Sacramento. Picked up by Gary Payton. He can run out now the first quarter.
See, as the Spurs have gone to the bench, they've lost some of that rhythm on offense. Starovich had been the man since he sat down. They've struggled to score.
And that's a ban, and that's a foul on Gary Payton of the Los Angeles Lakers. And Payton picks up his first personal foul. I think Payton really was the main target for the free agent acquisitions by the Lakers this past summer. They love his leadership, his knowledge, everything about it.
You know what, Kevin? I think one of the big things for Gary Payton and Malone coming to the Lakers is the fact the Lakers didn't win it last year. I think they feel like now they can help him get the crown back. Too late, but had the Lakers won, it would have been interesting to me would Payton and Malone still have come to the Lakers after they had won another championship.
Shaquille O'Neal grabbed 5 rebounds, put in 8 points. And the Lakers, who have led by as many as 3, are taking on the Spurs tonight. Lakers have a 7-1 run to close out the quarter.
From TNT, drama is what drives you to the edge.
Go, go, go! You don't know who you are anymore. You had everything. We threw it all away.
Driven. Don't miss the network television premiere tomorrow night at 8 on TNT. We know drama.
With Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, this is Kevin Harlan. The undefeated Lakers, the 3-2 San Antonio Spurs at the end of 1, LA by 3. Lakers finished that first quarter on a 7-1 run. The Spurs missed their last 5 shots after leading by 6.
And it coincided when Starbuck sat down. He'd gotten off to a great start. Pop rested him, and the team could not score. And again, we talk about end-of-quarter runs. The Lakers took advantage of that to get the lead.
So we begin the second quarter. Here comes Turkoglu, hounded by newly instated Horace Grant, and picks up the foul. The San Antonio Spurs out there with Australian Shane Heal, Turkoglu, Manu Ginobili, Robert Horry, and Kevin Willis. And the Lakers begin the second quarter with Kareem Rush, Kobe Bryant, Derek Fisher, Horace Grant, and Karl Malone. The foul went on Rush for the first time. And here comes Turkoglu.
I felt one of the keys for the Spurs having a chance to win tonight was they have to get to the free throw line a lot, and they have to win that battle of the free throw line. They're not a great free throw shooting team. They only shoot 72%, but the Lakers are last in the league. And they shoot it at like 65%, so that's going to be critical tonight.
Spurs have taken 5 free throws. Lakers have taken 6 so far. Here's Kobe Bryant. He's got 7 points through 1 quarter. Kareem Rush out of the University of Missouri. Horace Grant, 38 years of age, missing right there. And here comes Ginobili, Shane Heal, the Olympian from down under.
He is streaky. I did the New York game in here the other night. He came off the bench, had 11 points, had 2 critical threes, and he's tough. You know, Kevin, he will take the big shot and not even blink.
Malone again finds Kobe Bryant. Bryant an acrobatic shot inside, and Ginobili.
How about that pass between the legs?
Robert Horry finishes well.
That was a croquet pass right between the wicket.
Here's Karl Malone. And Kareem Rush getting a Malone screen. Karl against Robert Horry. These two have battled for years. Rebound by Kevin Willis. And look at the 41-year-old Willis run down court. Shane Heal inside Willis, who is unsuspecting of the pass. Turkoglu comes up with it.
Both teams overpassing a little bit now, actually being too unselfish. Got to take that open look, Kevin, when it's there.
Heal, shot clock at 3 for Shane Heal. Oh, and he nails a 3.
He won't pass it up.
And the San Antonio Spurs lead by 5. Horace Grant, who won a championship with Phil Jackson in Chicago. Bryant, and he throws it away. That is turnover number 7 for the Los Angeles Lakers. Here come the Spurs. They've turned it over 3 times. Now 4 for the game.
Now Kevin Willis took his eye off that when he wanted to shoot that jump hook before he caught the ball.
Fisher, he always calms him down.
Steady. Boy, he's just so confident in his shot. The year they knocked the Lakers out, and the Spurs out in the playoffs, he shot lights out in the playoffs.
Heal again. He's a streaky shooter. Offensive rebound by Robert Horry going inside. Ginobili! And couldn't convert. Here come the Lakers shooting 46% from the field. And again. And into Malone. Horry defending. Foul on Horry. Count the 2. Malone to the line.
See, Horace Grant is so comfortable in this triangle offense. He's more of a passer than a scorer. So when he catches the ball in, he's looking for the pass. And if you watch him, he had Malone in his vision the whole time, found him, missed the shot. But then the extra effort by Karl Malone, the opportunity for the 3-point play. Karl Malone's gotten off to a great start here this year.
Robert Horry just picked up his second. Here is Karl Malone at the free throw line. Completes the 3-point play. So Malone with 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists to start things off. They got Shaq on the bench. Kobe's on the floor. Ginobili. Spurs shooting 48% from the field. Shot clock down to 5. Willis trying to carve his way inside. Turkoglu over Rush. And a rebound by Horace Grant.
I used to hate that when a guy would hold the ball at the end of the shot clock, throw it for you to try to beat the clock.
The Spurs are -3 in rebounding so far. Ginobili into Robert Horry with the reverse.
You can see, though, they're running against the Lakers. The Lakers do have a weakness. It is transition defense, and I think you're going to see more and more teams try to run at them as the season goes on.
Robert Horry has come off the San Antonio bench and put in 5. Fisher again. And a rebound by Malone. Touch pass to Grant. Look at the ever energetic Manu Ginobili from Argentina. No Tim Duncan. No top point guard Tony Parker. And the Spurs are right there.
Well, you can see the beautiful left-handed bounce pass right between the legs of the Laker defender. And then another beautiful bounce pass, this time to Robert Horry. So Ginobili doing a wonderful job on the break. He has great hands, and the Spurs once again by 2.
Ernie Johnson with an EA Sports game break. Morris Peterson of the Raptors had only scored 7 points in 38 minutes in 3 games this year. Tonight he scores 12 off the bench, none bigger than these 2 late against Dallas, giving the Raptors a 3-point lead, 74-71. Vince Carter missed a couple of free throws, gave Dallas a chance, and Dirk Nowitzki had the ball go right through his hands, and the Raptors go to 3-1, 77-71 over Dallas. The Mavs have lost the first 2 stops on a 3-game trip. Back to Kevin and Doug.
All right, EJ, thank you. Let's see. Nowitzki was coming off a 1 of 9 shooting night the other night. Vince Carter, the second leading scorer in the NBA for the Raptors. New coach Kevin O'Neal.
Boy, Kevin's going to be very happy. His team's won 3 very close games at home. They beat Washington, Dallas, and New Jersey, so they've been very good at home. Defense has been excellent.
It's Fisher driving inside, rebound by Turkoglu. And here come the San Antonio Spurs shooting 48%. Nesterovic with a game-high 10 back in the game. Heel outside to newly instated Ron Mercer with Horry, Heel, Turkoglu, and Nesterovic for the Spurs. Shot clock is at 4. Ron Mercer out of Kentucky nails his first offering tonight.
Well, that's why they brought him in. They feel like he can put some points on the board.
Spurs have led by as many as 6. Whistle and a foul. And it goes on Rush, his second.
Well, Robert Horry with the dribble penetration. Kobe helps out. That leaves Ron Mercer open on the perimeter. And, you know, Kevin, if there's one thing that stands out right now about this Spurs team, regardless of who's playing, they have great defensive concepts. And they do a great job with one another out there. So whoever's playing, the system stays the same. Now, it looks a whole lot better when you got Duncan out there and David Robinson, but you can see exactly what they want to do defensively. And they do it very, very well.
Here comes Mercer, screen by Nesterovic. Mercer again. He's hit 2 in a row, and that San Antonio bench has outscored the Los Angeles bench tonight 15-4. Biggest lead of the game right now is 6 for San Antonio. Lakers have led by as many as 3 in a game that has consisted of 11 lead change. And the foul on Mercer for the first time.
You know, when you look at the Lakers bench, other than Derek Fisher, they really don't have guys that can score on that team that's coming off the bench. I mean, right now, Kareem Rush is not shooting the ball well. Brian Russell's not shooting it well. So really the only guy they can count off coming off the bench, Horace Grant is not really going to score for him. So I mean, Derek Fisher has to be that guy to give them some points when they're resting some of their starters.
A fantastic 4 is back in for Los Angeles, including Kobe Bryant, who nails another from outside. And Bryant has started 4 of 6 in the field. He's got a Laker high 9 points tonight. It's Bowen. Screened by newly instated Malik Rose, and Bruce Bowen taking it inside. Shaq has his second block shot. And Kobe Bryant the other way. Nails it again. He's got the stroke tonight.
If I'm not mistaken, he's played the whole game too, so you know his conditioning is better. He was playing in like 8-minute stretches the first 2 games. Now he's played this entire time, so he's played like 18 minutes straight, Kevin.
It's Shane Heal for 3. Bowen probably balls it to Nesterovic. Now to Mercer. And he has started 3 of 3 coming off the bench. Ron Mercer, who last year played for the Indiana Pacers. Here's Shaq. O'Neal's got 8 points and 6 rebounds, and across the lane and over to Nesterovic.
Mercer was late getting down there again when Shaq puts that ball on the floor. They want to go down and attack him.
Nesterovich blocked, and the third registered for Shaq, who's playing tennis inside. He's knocking away so many balls. Both teams are shooting about 47% from the field, but Shaquille O'Neal, he's only one of a kind.
Well, when Shaq does this on the interior, he creates so many opportunities for the Lakers because this creates running opportunities.
The NBA on TNT tonight, brought to you by Hyundai. When your car comes with America's best warranty, you win. And by Chili's Citrus Fired Chicken, spicy garlic shrimp. Chili's Citrus Fired Chicken and Shrimp. With Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, Kevin Harlan.
Kobe Bryant coming off a spectacular fourth quarter performance against Milwaukee. Scored 13 of his 31 points in the fourth quarter. The Lakers finished on a 24-10 run. And a big part of his success is Gary Payton now pushing that ball up the floor so Kobe can be fresh at these times. You can see his numbers, the big shots, the big plays. And tonight he's gotten off to a great start once again. Kevin, I was wrong. He did get a couple minutes rest at the end of that first period. He has played 16 minutes with 11 points. But the game is coming easy. He's playing much more efficiently, not working as hard. And this will be much more beneficial to he and the Lakers as the season wears on.
He also has a game-high 2 steals, so the 11 of Bryant is a game-high. 10 for Nesterovich leads the San Antonio Spurs. And here comes Kobe Bryant, 1-on-4 in traffic, handcuffed in a straitjacket, and got it to go. What a play. He was in a thicket of Spurs defenders and got it.
Well, he's starting to get his legs back. You can see that. It always comes when you can see it with the offense and just the finesse that he has. As Bowen makes a nice drive, but Kobe is starting to get that feel once again and that swagger. You can see his confidence rising with every game.
Yeah. Lakers have gone 1 of 2 shooting threes. O'Neal inside over Nesterovich. Rose had it, vacuums it in, and here comes San Antonio the other way. The Spurs have gone 2 of 3 shooting the 3-ball tonight. Nesterovich, O'Neal, little 2-man game. Shaq is right there. Out of bounds, shot clock at 13.
Inbounds play and a careless play by Bruce Bowen as Kobe just stepped back into the passing lane. And Kevin, you describe it, the up and under, slicing between 2 players, kissing the ball off the glass. Beautiful play.
Von Mercer has come in and hit every shot he has thrown up, and that's his first miss right there, and the rebound is saved by Karl Malone. Gary Payton. Puts the pass inside, Nesterovich kicked it. He played soccer as a youth in Slovenia. We saw some of his prowess right there. So we've got the leading scorers as you take a look at Phil Jackson. Lineups, Mercer, Bowen, Malik Rose for the San Antonio Spurs, along with Jason Hope and Nesterovich.
Phil is just trying to nurture this team along as they continue to grow with one another, get everybody back into the mix, new faces. Careless passes tonight, but I think the Lakers are trying to make the spectacular pass rather than the simple pass. Their turnovers have been down on the season, 27 assists a game, but tonight they're trying to thread passes. That's 9 turnovers now for the Lakers.
Rick Fox, you just saw him coming back from surgery about Christmas, New Year's. He'll be back in the lineup for the Lakers, and they'll have to make a roster decision. George, O'Neal, Payton, Malone, and Kobe Bryant, the 5 for the Los Angeles Lakers. And Jason Hart, in his second NBA season, has 6 points in a rare start in his career. Malone, nice jump off inside, and a twirling Gary Payton finally corkscrews free and gets it.
That's what he used to do against Seattle. He'd get down on that baseline, get down underneath the basket, and he's a whirling dervish down there. Just has another turnover by Malik Rose, a careless play. Ron Mercer was going to go back door, and Malik Rose just turned to swing the basketball. And that's 4 turnovers now from Malik Rose. You can't have that out of a power forward. That's maybe your point guard, but not your power forward, Kevin.
11 lead changes in this game. Knocked away. Shot clock at 16. Evan George, who played at a small Division III school outside Minneapolis, where he grew up.
He's having a very good year, too. You talked about it. He's shooting the ball exceptionally well, rebounding very, very well. He's playing at a very high level for this Laker team.
Here's Shaquille O'Neal. He's got 10. Plows his way into Nesterovic. It's a game-high 12 for O'Neal. Both teams shooting 50% from the floor. Nesterovic. 8 rebounds now in the game for Malone, and a whistle. 14 for Shaq. That's leading everybody. And a foul called on the play. Nesterovic is tagged with his second of the game. It's the Alamo here in San Antonio. The two of the best teams in the NBA right here on TNT.
You know, in the past, I would be the push man, and creating for everybody else, and then score as well. Now, he's the push man, and I get out and I just run the wing, and I'll spot up, I'll back cut and move without the basketball, and made basketball a lot easier for me.
Well, the Lakers do get some fast breaks now. We're going to take a look at Shaquille O'Neal's running right down the middle of the floor, and what he's going to do is he's going to put his head right under the rim, and he's going to point for the basketball right here. But the important thing is, look at the spacing. Nobody to give help now, and so now the ball goes right inside to Shaquille O'Neal, and he powers the ball right up to the basket. That's 13 fast break points for the Lakers out of their 43 points. It's almost 25% of their offense, 30% of their offense has come with early running. That's how they're different this year with Gary Payton.
Shaq will be at the free throw line. Kobe Bryant, and there was a great story in the Los Angeles Times how he is now relying on Michael Jordan for advice, Doug, on how to handle the media and other matters. He sought the same advice from MJ a couple years ago as well.
I can't think of anybody he could learn from better, because nobody was under the microscope more than Michael Jordan. And the guy was incredible. I was with him for 5 years, and I don't know how he did it, but he handled it like a champ, and he could be a great mentor for Kobe.
Lakers are on a 7-0 run, and Malik Rose across the lane. Rose now with his first 2 points tonight, 1 of 3 from the field. Janelle Pargo is an undrafted kid out of Arkansas, picked off by Rose. He'll go flying the other way, and the San Antonio Spurs have climbed on top of the Lakers again.
That's 10 turnovers now for the Lakers. They normally average about 14 and a half a game, so way over their normal pace.
It's Karl Malone with the deceptive fake. That is the first miss in the last 5 shots taken by Los Angeles.
Remember now, into quarters. In the first quarter, it was the Lakers. Let's see if the Spurs can do it here in the second period, going into halftime.
Rose. The Lakers are +4 in rebounding tonight. Lead changes, 12. Spurs have led by 6. Lakers have led by as many as 3. It's Pargo launching a 3. Rebound by Nesterovic with a buck and a half to play in the first half. High steal by Payton. And out of bounds.
Gary Payton will get in those passing lanes. They don't call him the glove for nothing. You got to be very careful when you advance that ball. You see him sort of laying in the weeds like sort of a defensive back, the safety. Kevin, I know you do a lot of football, and reading the eyes of the passer, and once that ball is in the air, you react to it.
It would have been a great safety. Jason Hart against Pargo. A little brushed by Nesterovic. Rebound by Karl Malone, who claims his 9th rebound with 5 points and a couple of assists. Out of bounds. Lakers turn it over again. That is 11 first half turnovers for Phil Jackson's LA Lakers.
Almost what they average for a game, and that's what's keeping the Spurs involved here right now and keeping them with the 1-point lead.
15 from O'Neal, game high. 10 from Nesterovic, he's San Antonio high. We'll move on. Shaq and goes down the lane. Malone is there. The reverse by Nesterovic, who had not scored in a while.
I'm really impressed with him. He's not backing down from the challenge. Obviously, Shaq's so big and powerful, but Rasho taking the ball right to the basket tonight.
Both teams have a foul to give. It's Devin George thinking about three, maneuvering inside by Ginobili and Hart. And who's there to clean it up and put it back in but Karl Malone. Foul will be called on Rose. It's always the last guy that hits and shoves, and Rose was caught.
That's where Malik has got to use a little bit better judgment. So again, at the end of the half here, and you're going to see the play afterwards. They bust out the little contact. Malik Rose says something in the little shove.
And so the two-time MVP of the NBA, Karl Malone, shooting 69% from the free throw line this season. Will be at the line with 32 seconds to play in the first half. Rose gets the technical. On the free throw line tonight, Lakers 5 of 9, Spurs 3 of 5.
When this game started, Kevin, there was not the buzz that you normally get for a Lakers-Spurs game. But as that's gone on, and this crowd feels the competitive instincts of the Spurs, you can feel them getting more into the game.
Jason Hart. 7-second difference, game clock and shot clock. Each team has a foul to give. Ginobili. Look at this acrobatic display. Pocketed by Malone. A foul on the Los Angeles Lakers Hall of Famer to be. Gary Payton will pick up his second personal foul.
Well, this wasn't pretty. It was behind the back, lose control, dribble it up, try to split the double team, and Gary Payton called for the foul, and nobody will shoot 2 free throws.
Here's a guy who is speaking of Manu Ginobili, he was the #1 European player coming into the NBA a season ago.
Kevin, I'll take that back. They pointed him to the free throw line. Now they've said that's first foul in the last 2 minutes, so they will shoot the next one.
Hart. Seconds winding down the first half with a screen from Rose. Who gets the ball, takes it by Payton inside. And foul with 1.6 on the second quarter clock. And Shaq was defending and lunging in, and he is tagged with his first personal foul tonight.
One of the keys I put to tonight's game was the free throw line, and one of the guys I thought would be vital would be Malik Rose. He's only shooting 25% from the floor as we see Tim Duncan react, but Rose is only shooting 25% from the floor on the season, Kevin, but he's shooting 89% from the free throw line, 25 of 28, so it's vital for him to get there.
89%, and he's a career 72% free throw shooter.
Well, I guess, you know, when you're struggling from the field, you get a chance to get that free throw line, you better make your free throws.
He grew up in, as I mentioned before, Philadelphia, went to Drexel, Philadelphia school, and he was more known in high school for playing in the band than he was basketball. But he has certainly changed that. Rose has all 6 of his points in this quarter. That will take us to halftime.
That was a great first half. Very competitive by both teams. Spurs on an 8-2 run to close it out. We talk about end of quarters. First quarter, it was Lakers. Second quarter, it was the Spurs. And they lead here by 3. I think a lot of shocked people probably watching on television right now, Kevin.
Manu Ginobili, huge 6 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and this great player from overseas is standing by with our Cheryl Miller.
Manu, without Tony Parker, you guys have been running the point guard position by committee. Just seemed like in the first half, you really took it upon yourself to really push the action.
Yeah, we know that we had to push it and try to get baskets in transition, because if not, it's going to be really hard without Timmy and Tony. So we are doing that pretty well.
Now, with no Tim Duncan, you got to give a lot of credit to Rasho. Played extremely well in the first quarter, and your bench was certainly solid as well.
Yeah, and Rasho has been playing really well for us, and we are taking profit of it. The thing is that we're on D, we are not having a really good night, and they are playing very solid, so that's the tough part of the game.
Second half defensively, any adjustments that you made?
Too many. Shaq is playing really good. We are jumping on many pump fakes, so we got to improve many things already.
All right, good luck in the second half. Let's send it back to you, Kevin. And
All right, Cheryl, the defending champion Spurs facing their 2 biggest rivals this week, Ernie Johnson, the Lakers tonight, the Dallas Mavericks this weekend without their starting point guard and the NBA's 2-time MVP. And who would have thought against the Fantastic Four, the depleted Spurs up by 3 as we send it to you in our studios.
It's an interesting thing, but you see the numbers. The Spurs shooting 50%, 36% on the season, 11 assists, 16 points off turnovers, 17 to 4 from the bench. And again, the starters who had only averaged 39 going into the game already have 32. I think the big question is going to be, are they going to get worn down? They played with a lot of emotion. Can they keep this up for 48 minutes?
So that's a look at our Chief game summary. And here comes Manu Ginobili working on Devin George. And a foul as Ginobili wheels inside. He's out there with Nesterovic, Malik Rose, Bruce Bowen, Jason Hart. That is the San Antonio 5. Second personal foul goes on Devin George. The Fantastic Four is on the floor for the Lakers. Kobe Bryant, Shaq, Malone, Peyton, and the fifth member, the fifth Beatle, as they say, Devin George.
Well, Devin George had a very quiet first half, 0 of 2. He did not score. Lakers normally have 6 guys in double figures, so the balance wasn't quite as good tonight. Let's see if Devin George can get involved.
Undefeated Los Angeles, 3-2 San Antonio, and let's go over to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Kevin and Doug. I spoke to assistant coach Jim Clemens, and he said, look, the 11 turnovers in the first half were extremely costly, 16 points. He said, right now, we're playing too quick. We need to slow it down and play within our means. He said we need to execute our half-court offense, and defensively in the second half, look for the Lakers to tighten it up, guys.
Kobe out there working on the perimeter on Bruce Bowen, who gave him fits in the playoffs a season ago, and Kobe puts one in again. He has been right on the money, 7 of 9.
Kobe was doing a little finger wag at the crowd after he made that shot. He fell over, did a back slip.
Ginobili with the Malik Rose brush. Oh, and he got it. That is a 3 and a foul. And Ginobili now with 11. He has played so well tonight. He's gone 3 of 4. He has hit both of his 3-point offerings. And that's a third foul called on Devin George.
Well, Devin George felt like that Ginobili stuck his leg out there a little bit like Cheryl's brother Reggie used to like to do, sort of kick that leg out and spin around and get that 3-point shot and the foul. I think he's been watching tapes of Reggie Miller on that play.
We just saw a 4-point play, and the Spurs have their biggest lead now of 7 in the lane. Hanging is Malone, got his own miss, goes up again, a foul. And it looked like Nesterovic was the one. Yeah, waving the thing. Oops.
Watch what he does here, though. It's like, hey, nothing happened. Just flip right up and get right into that defensive stance.
There's a great story about Kobe the other night in Milwaukee. He's got a little 9-month-old daughter, he and Vanessa do, and he's on the road working, obviously, and via the internet, he was able to watch his little 9-month-old girl's first steps via a webcam.
That is amazing. Really is. I can relate to that a little bit. I've got a little 8-month-old grandson who's now crawling, so I can't wait for those first steps myself. Kevin.
You're a lucky man.
Yes, I am.
Karl Malone. On the offensive rebound, Devin George finally corrals it. Here's Gary Payton, who spent last year with both Seattle and Milwaukee, and Shaq in great shape. Best shape he's been, they think, in the last 4 years. Devin George slapped it away in a whistle. And foul is on Kobe, and it's his second.
Now watch as Kobe tries to come in from behind. Right there, right on top of the wrist. Mark Davis all over that. Kobe thought he got away with one, but the referee in great position to make that call. I've been very impressed with the way the Spurs have come out at halftime. They've taken that emotion and they've got the crowd right back in this game. There's a real buzz in here now.
I don't think anybody expected this.
Charles did. He predicted the Spurs were going to win.
Except Charles Barkley, you're right. Ginobili. Almost picked off by Bryant. Rose gets it. Shot clock at 5. Hands off to Nesterovic because Shaq and Malone had committed one way.
Okay. Kobe went for the steal, got himself out of position, and then Shaq committed. It's twice now Ginobili has those easy dunks.
9-point lead is the biggest of the game. Here come the Lakers, shooting 48% from the floor. Devin George has not scored. He's 0 of 2. Shaq with the ball. He's got 15. Nesterovic grabs the rebound. The Spurs the other way, shooting 52%. Wide open, Bowen for 3. And that was the #1 3-point shooter in the NBA a season ago.
Boy, they were very close to taking a double-digit lead. I would have been very surprised had Phil called timeout. He loves for his team to sort of play through these things early in the season.
Into Kobe. Great pass by Shaq. Neal's got a couple of assists tonight.
That was a gorgeous back bounce pass.
Ginobili quickly up and shoved and fouled by Devin George.
The big man really has a great feel for the game. He sees the double team and look on the baseline. Kobe with a great cut. That's 3 baskets that Kobe has now, cutting away from the basketball. That's the position in the triangle that Michael made famous. The scoring position. Scottie Pippen played where Peyton does. Kobe played when Michael used to play in that triangle, and so many opportunities when you learn how to read that defense.
Devin George has 4 personal fouls, and he just got slapped with a technical as Derek Fisher will take his place.
Well, Devin George has to be careful. Right now the Lakers playing a little bit shorthanded with Rick Fox being injured and some of their forwards struggling a little bit.
George picks up 3 fouls in 2.5 minutes on this third quarter alone.
See, the Stars can get away with saying a little bit more. Unfortunately, Devin, you have not quite earned that yet. It'll come in time. Keep playing the way you're playing, and you'll get a little bit more freedom to beef a little bit.
Ginobili knifing his way through the heart of the Laker defense.
How about this Ginobili? He's having a sensational night. Guarding Gary Payton, doing it all on the offensive end as well.
Ginobili, 15 points, 6 assists. He's got 8 points in the quarter. Shaquille O'Neal.
He's the toughest guy in the league to referee. What is dislodging and what is just a normal move? But when he hits you, it's like being hit by a truck.
But for him, it's a normal move.
For him, it's a normal move. He's 330 pounds.
It's a 3 by Ginobili.
That was a heat check. How hot am I?
He's got a game-high 18 points. Here's Kobe Bryant, who's got 17. He and Shaq, in fact, with 17 apiece. Karl Malone into Nesterovic. Shaq crabs it off the rim with a foul inside and on the Spurs. And Nesterovic, the ex-Timberwolf, will pick up the foul. That is number 4 on him.
Karl Malone's got a subtle little move when he drives the ball in there like that. He sort of kicks his legs out, and he sort of kicks you as he goes up for the shot, and the referee's sort of watching up at the top, but he's making a lot of contact with his legs down below when he sort of scissor kicks getting into that shot.
Okay, now David Robinson retires, and this Nesterovic is the guy that Greg Popovich is going to try to replace the great David Robinson with.
There's the dislodge again. Nesterovic says, get a little help with that one. David Robinson has seen that on many occasions.
So in your opinion, how much hinges on this kid's play for this season?
Well, I mean, he's not going to replace David Robinson. And again, David Robinson, what he brought at the end of his career, Kevin, was more the defense, the stability, and his team knew that they could count on him every night. He was an unbelievable guy in that locker room. He just brought so much what I call charisma, just an essence to their team. Nesterovic will be different. He'll score more for them, but he won't be as good defensively. That's why other guys are going to have to pick up the slack. But Nesterovic, right now, is a better offensive player than David finished his career with.
Kevin Willis takes the place of Nesterovic. That was deflected. And a foul. It goes on Karl Malone. That's the second on Karl Malone. Karl Malone was approached by the San Antonio Spurs and offered far more money than the Lakers offered.
You know, it's interesting. Would Karl Malone have come to the Lakers had they won the championship last year? You know, maybe he chose the Lakers thinking, I'm not coattailing or I'm not going to somewhere where they've won all the championship. They got beat last year. They need me to beat the Spurs as opposed to maybe the Spurs who won the championship. I think it had a lot to do with he and Peyton's thinking about where they signed.
And it's interesting, as I jump off that point, the Spurs rejected by Jason Kidd, Jermaine O'Neal, the Indiana Pacer, then made the hard run at Malone. You don't think maybe they were all thinking about, Popovich has already won the championship right there in the coattails of his team?
Well, a lot of speculation, too, that they're going to have room salary cap-wise next year for Kobe Bryant, who's going to opt out of his deal. A lot of talk here today. Would Kobe be a Spur next year?
And Shaq going inside, plowing his way into Kevin Willis, who picks up a foul. And so Shaq will be at the free throw line. Could you see that? I mean, could anybody see Kobe leaving where he is right now? He has said he will opt out of his contract, but a lot of things are in place here in San Antonio, including the money.
Well, I think that if Kobe were to leave L.A., he would want to go to a situation where he thinks he can win a championship. And the second best bet with L.A. would be the Spurs. You've got Tim Duncan there, who's in the prime of his career, and there was the headlines today, Kobe is a Spur, change of venue. Now, that's all just speculation, but the fact that Kobe is going to be a free agent, they could offer him as much as $12 million a year, so the money could be there for him, so it's not that far, beyond comprehension. That might happen, but I would think that Kobe's first choice would be to stay in Los Angeles.
And why not?
Why not?
They can pay him the most. He's got a built-in team already for him for the next couple of years.
Correct.
Lane violation on the Spurs, and so Shaq will get another try. But it is interesting to think about. So O'Neal tonight, 23 minutes, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists.
To the Spurs now, you're in the penalty. Kevin, you don't want to shoot jump shots. Keep driving that ball to the basket and get to the free throw line. It's been good to you here in the third period.
It's Bowen picked up by the glove. Shot clock is down to 6 for Kevin Willis. Not the shot they wanted.
Well, they had bad possession there. Bowen mishandled the ball and put Kevin Willis in a position to fail.
Here's Shaquille O'Neal. And he is fouled inside and goes tumbling down, and you can feel it shake all the way over here. And a body that big is in that kind of motion, hits the ground that hard. It's hard not to feel. 2 fouls on Kevin Willis.
Well, Kevin Willis is not going to give up a layup, and he takes the hard foul. And once Shaq's weight starts going forward like that, as coordinated as he is, he just could not gain his balance. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, how about a year ago at this time for Shaq coming back slowly from his surgically repaired toe? With him gone, it was 11-19 dismal start for the Los Angeles Lakers. The NBA on TNT returns next Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Rockets take on the Mavericks. Kings battle the Trailblazers. TNT Thursday. Let the truth be told.
Well, the truth right now might be that the Rockets are the second best team in the West with Duncan out. Now, with Duncan playing, I would have to say it's the Lakers and the Spurs, and then Jeff Van Gundy has that Houston team playing very, very well right now. Dallas is struggling. Minnesota's struggling. Sacramento's playing pretty well. So interesting makings and doings going on in the Western Conference right now. Jeff has done a great job in Houston.
Another lane violation. Houston, number 1 in points allowed. Number 1 shooting team in the NBA. Number 1 are the Rockets in field goal defense. And you're right, 3-1 tied for first place with Utah in the Midwest.
Game's starting to get a little chippy right now. Kevin, elbows are getting up. Hard fouls taken. Let's watch what happens here. Referee's going to have to grab the hold of this.
And they got Malik Rose over Malone. Rebound by Shaquille O'Neal. Rebounding in the game, Lakers +8. Across the lane, Karl Malone.
That's exactly where he loved to play in Utah. The little transition break. He gets right to that strong side post and wheels right into the lane. Greg Popovich, an excellent timeout here. A couple bad possessions for his team, and things are getting a little testy here. Watch Kevin Willis. He comes out of the pack here. Watch him swing this elbow. And then Karl Malone again. You saw him there many, many years with Utah, catching the ball, swinging across the lane against Kevin Willis. The Lakers have cut it to 6. Popovich wants to talk about it.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Jeep, the most respected, honored, and heroic 4x4 out there. And by NBA Live 2004 from EA Sports. Create your game with freestyle control. With Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, Kevin Harlan, what a show put on by Mano Ginobili.
Well, he has been the story here in this third period. 12 of the Spurs' 16 points, 12 of his 18 points in this period. Driving, shooting the three, actually had 7 points on 2 plays, a 3-point play and then fouled shooting a 3 and got the 4-point play. So he has been the man here in this third period to keep the Spurs in the lead.
Spurs have led by as many as 11 points. Lakers have led by as many as 3. 13 lead changes, 7 ties. Ginobili's 18 leading the Spurs. Shaq has 20 for the Lakers. Kobe has put in 17. Ginobili, look how far out O'Neal is, doubling it with Kobe. Shot clock is down to 6 for Bruce Bowen.
That was a great possession coming out of the timeout. Ginobili did a nice job of stringing out the defense and then the extra pass, and Bowen finally was able to make an open shot.
How about all those numbers as they go inside with Shaq? Oh, and he slams it down. And Shaq with a game-high 22 points. O'Neal came into tonight as the number 14 scorer in the NBA so far. 7th in rebounding. Hart through traffic and dishing outside. Bowen for 3. Here comes Payton on the move. Bryant at his side. 2-on-1. Kobe shoved by Ginobili and a foul.
See, the problem is when you take a corner jump shot, that's the best shot to fast break off of if you miss it, because you got guys buried below that free throw line. When Bruce Bowen took that jump shot, the Lakers were off and running. This is danger time right now for the Spurs. It's been a very emotional start. They've come out here in this third period and played well. The Lakers are going to try to impose their will right now. The Spurs are going to have to stand strong right now, Kevin. It's going to be a critical 3 or 4 minutes.
I've been wondering, and a lot of people that watch the Lakers, Doug, wondering, is it how Kobe works around Shaq, Karl, and Payton, or the other way around?
Well, I think they all serve different purposes, but I think come fourth quarter, that's when Kobe's going to be called upon, because he's a great free throw shooter. They can get the ball to him. They've gone to Malone as a great free throw shooter, and Payton. So if Shaq is struggling from the line, they have 3 other options, but Kobe in the fourth quarter is the guy.
There's a shove, and there's a foul. And it's on Kobe Bryant, who picks up number 3. Cheryl, what do you have?
And Doug, it was interesting. You brought up a good point about the emotions are now starting to get high on both teams. That was something that Greg Popovich was talking about in the last timeout. He addressed Ginobili and saying, look, I do not want you to get caught up in a trash-talking game with Gary Payton. That is not your style. He also talked to Kevin Willis as far as defending Karl Malone. He says, you've been doing this for so long in the league. You have to understand, do not initiate the contact at the defensive end. Try to give him some space and hold your ground. But Doug, you just hit it on the head. He wants his team to calm down and play smart.
When you play with a lot of emotion, you get tired quickly. And I think that's one of the trademarks of Phil Jackson's teams and also Greg Popovich's teams in winning championships, is they played with a lot of poise. And so it was always more the execution than it was all the emotion. And I think that's what Phil has prided himself on as a coach, and I would say the same thing with Greg Popovich.
Fisher, Payton, Shaq, Malone, Bryant, the Laker 5 on the floor, 4.5, make it 5.5 to play in the third. And Kobe working around one defender after another, deploys the 3. Ginobili with the rebound. Jason Hart smashing inside. Great interception by Gary Payton, and a foul called on Hart.
Jason Hart is so upset because you get on that baseline, and when you leave your feet, Kevin, you got no place to go. And he got hung in the air. Watch this. He got in the passing lane closed, and then you got no place to go. Then you compound it by making a foul, and you put Gary Payton on the free throw line. Those are the kind of mistakes that the Spurs are going to have to stay away from if they're going to be able to hold the Lakers off tonight.
You know, I've always wondered about Payton and Malone developing their games in Seattle and in Utah, respectively, in certain spots on the floor. Now they've got this triangle to work with, and it puts them in spots maybe they're not accustomed to playing.
Well, they're getting better, but you know, when we talked to Greg Popovich before the game, he said Phil has put in a couple things that Seattle like to do for Payton, a couple things that Utah like to do for Malone. So he has also gone a little way from the triangle and has helped those guys be able to blend in a little bit quicker by giving them some of their plays that they feel good about.
Great pass by Karl Malone in the high flying. Kobe Bryant taps it up and in. And the Lakers to within 4. Bob Mercer in for the first time in the second half for San Antonio.
Mercer gave them a nice lift in the first half, hitting some big shots. He had 6 points off the bench.
Willis with the foul, setting a screen. He laid it on much smaller Derek Fisher. Willis picks up number 3.
Excuse me, Kevin. Karl Malone, a very good passer, and he recognized Jason Hart fronting the post, and what you do is you just lock and lob right over the top, and a great touch pass from Karl Malone to Kobe Bryant.
Foul problems in the game. 3 now for Willis on the floor. 3 for Kobe Bryant. Shaq has turned it over a couple times in the game, and outside. A 3 by Fisher will not go. Mercer, Hart, Ball. He'll launch a 3.
You're an inch away from a layup on one end, and the Spurs get you a 3. That's how fragile and how fine line the game can be, Kevin.
The Spurs have gone 5 of 8, shooting 3-point shots. The Lakers 1 of 5. Look at Shaq inside with a myriad of moves, and on Kevin Willis for 2.
Got no answers for that. He's the most powerful low post player in the game. I think Tim Duncan is the most complete big man in the game. I think Shaq is the most dominant down there in the paint with his power.
Shaq's got 24. Malik Rose. Double Fisher and Malone. Little punch the lane, Rose. Down goes Malone. The foul called on Karl. He's got 3.
Again, I like that with Malik Rose. You don't settle for the jump shot. You attack the basket and get to that free throw line. When you're shooting 89% from the line and 25% from the field, that line has been good. Keep getting there. It also stops the game and allows you to rest a little bit. This has been a very intense game. You stop the clock and you get a chance to get your breath.
Popovich has got this team off to a 3-2 start, and they're traditionally not a fast starting team, but he told us tonight, he said, I don't think we become mentally and physically tough enough until after the All-Star break. Are a lot of good teams like that?
Well, he said, he feels like the championship teams, when they come back after winning, a lot of times ease themselves into the season knowing how long the season is going to be. And for his team, when they won the championship, the first time they finished the season 31-5, last year it was 32-6. So they've always been strong finishing teams when they've won the championship.
7-point game. Wild since the Lakers have been on top. Payton to Malone. Great pass by Gary Payton.
Well, no weak side defense. Kevin Malone there. Kevin Willis was so attached to Shaq that he did not see the weak side. That's where you missed Duncan on that shot clock.
20-year veteran Kevin Willis. Rebound by Karl Malone. Here's Shaq out. And Payton with the Spurs back on defense. Well, something they did against New Jersey so well last year in the finals. Malone, double. Spurs will get it back. San Antonio Spurs are starting this season playing for their 3rd championship in the past 6 years. And they're doing it gorgeous, San Antonio. They lead by 5 as you're watching the NBA on TNT. The Los Angeles Lakers, one of 2 undefeated teams so far in the NBA. 4-0 their record. All Lakers starters have scored in double figures in all 4 games, and they've had 6 score in double figures in the first 2 games.
Well, I think when you look at what the Spurs have been able to do, they've taken Devin George out of the game. He has no points. They've done a nice job on Fisher. He has 4. And Karl Malone is shooting 5 of 13. He has 13 points. So Kobe and Shaq have carried the load tonight with 24 of the points. But this has been a well-balanced team. Let's see if some of those guys can pick it up in the 4th period.
The Lakers have had double-digit leads in every game so far this season, except tonight against an undermanned San Antonio ball club. Tim Duncan is out, as is Tony Parker. 2 best players. Mercer missed. Here comes Payton streaking the other way, and outside he feeds to Fisher for 3. Rebound by Mercer. Rebounding in the game, plus 10 for the Los Angeles Lakers. And the Spurs the other way, shooting 50% from the field. Lakers with about 49% for the game shoot. Jason Hart coming up with another shot from an unexpected source. He's got 10 points.
That's what you have to do. If you're going to beat a team like the Lakers when you're shorthanded, guys you don't count on to make points have got to come up with some big shots.
Gary Payton has 8 points and 4 assists tonight, and Shaq trying to hook it home, and a foul called, a loose ball foul. Brian Russell is in the game for the first time in the second half and picks up his first foul.
Well, Kevin Willis does a nice job forcing Shaq away from the basket. Good block out by Bruce Bowen as Brian Russell tries to come over his back to get the offensive rebound. It's interesting. You look at Bowen's free throw percentage. I can't believe that this guy struggles so much from the free throw line. I mean, he shot 40% last year, 40-something% from the three, and shot 40% from the line. I mean, this year he's still struggling. What is he shooting from the line? I guess 50% going into tonight, 6 of 12. But he's got too good of a stroke to not be a 75% free throw shooter.
Foul trouble in the game. Devin George has 4 for the Lakers, 4 for Russia Nesterovic, who has 14 points for the Spurs. Those are the only 2 in real foul trouble. Spurs are 12 of 12 from the line in this quarter, and 17 of 19 for the game. Lakers 12 of 21 from the stripe tonight. Off balance Russell. Shot clock at 6. Payton stretching his way inside. Fisher for 3. Derek Fisher with a 3. He's got 7 Lakers to within a 78-72 reach.
See, Gary Payton can create shots at the end of the shot clock, a lot like Kobe can. That gives you another weapon when that clock is winding down. And he just made that play for
Willis just blocked his way into Fisher and knocked him over, and that's 4 on Kevin Willis.
See, Fisher sets you up. He sets you up. Now watch Fisher. He sees Kevin Willis, and he just goes down. He gets in front of him. You got to know when you're playing against Derek Fisher that he's going to do this. He gets wrapped up with you, and he goes down. What Kevin Willis was doing was just sort of rolling to the basket, but Derek Fisher is the best in the league at doing that.
Bowen and Willis will check out. Turkoglu and Ori will check in for the San Antonio Spurs. Less than a minute to play in the third. No fouls to give either way. Russell on Turkoglu. Slips it by him into Shaq. Double teamed. And Payton flies out of no place to tap it in.
Have to watch Brian Russell and Turkoglu. That last possession, the elbows were flying.
4-point game.
This game is getting a little testy here. You can see the competitiveness of these players starting to come out. I mean, even though the Spurs are shorthanded, this is a big game for them. If they can show they can beat the Lakers without Duncan or Tony Parker, that would be an amazing win early in the season.
Here comes Hart. One of his few starts in his young NBA career. 10 points tonight. Fisher's on him. Rose, shot clock is at 9. Turkoglu, shot clock is at 4. Hart lasers it inside to Rose over Shaq. Good looking rebound by Robert Horry.
Get the last shot here, pull this thing out, get the last possession. Robert Horry recognizes it.
Turkoglu. Oh, and he just overshoots Mercer on the side.
And you know what he said to him? When I'm penetrating, slide to the corner. Mercer came back towards the center line. You got to slide down to that corner. That was just a miscommunication. Guys haven't played much together. That's how those kind of plays occur. But you always want to slide away from the dribbler to give him space to make that pass.
Kobe is in. Here comes Shaq. Inside, great pass. Payton couldn't get it. Nice defense by the San Antonio Spurs.
They're going to call 2 points. They're going to say goaltending on this. He's called goaltending, Kevin.
Count the 2, and it's a 2-point game after 3.
Let's see if the ball got off the backboard. Oh, that's a good block. That's not a good call. Now the question is going to be, is that a reviewable play since it was at the 0-0? If so, I think that will be called back.
Well, the Spurs had to dig deep the other night to beat Miami without Duncan and without Parker. Against the Lakers, they have needed to dig down to the abyss. but they've done it, leading by as many as 11. At the end of 3, they're up on the Lakers.
Well, Kevin, 4/10 of a second remaining here in the quarter, and I'll tell you exactly what happened. The reason goaltending could not be reviewed because it has to be all zeros on the clock. What they could review was how much time was left, and you're going to get a chance to see now the red light has not gone on. Actually, that's a good block. The basket shouldn't have counted, but you can't review that because it wasn't triple zeros. Now you see the red light go on, so all they did was see how much time was left. It was 4/10 of a second, and again, you'll see here as the clock goes up, 3/10 of a second after the block has occurred, and the Lakers get away with one there because 3/10 of a second later, that would have been wiped away.
So now we officially are at the end of 3 quarters, and the Spurs lead by 2.
Well, as we start the 4th period, the Spurs lead by 2, and Kevin, you see these sayings on the wall here. Actually, it's the only thing that the Spurs have ever put up, and you can see all the different languages. Serbian, you see French, you see Spanish, and this is sort of their philosophy. And here's English, and it was by Jacob Riis, who's a social reformer from America, and it talks about, you know, sort of hammering away at the rock until it finally splits, and it says, yet at the 101st blow it will split in 2, and I know it was not that blow that did it, but all that had gone before. That is sort of their philosophy on the season, and the reason they have it in all these different languages is they have 7 international players. The Pop said before the game, it's sort of the way they approach the season. You hammer away at the season, and hopefully at the end, all the hard work will pay off and you can split that rock, which will be a championship, and they've done it twice.
We start the 4th quarter at the end of 1. Lakers led by 3 at halftime. The Spurs were up by 3. San Antonio leads by 2 as we head to the 4th with Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, Kevin Harlan, and Brian Russell out there with Kobe, Luke Walton, the rookie from Arizona, Horace Grant, and Derek Fisher. It's a Kobe 3, count, and he was fouled. Brian again, who is having a sensational shooting night, is 10 of 13, a game-high 23, and nails it. And Ginobili picks up his 3rd foul of the game.
Watch the hand right on the elbow. Now this will be interesting because if Kobe makes his free throws, the Lakers will take the lead. If he can make this 3-point play, actually that was a 3. They only have 78 up on the board, so I don't know if that was a 3 or a 2, but the Lakers now are in the lead, either by 1 or 2. We'll have to correct the score.
He had his arm raised. Now they're changing it to a 2. They have just changed it to a 2, and the Lakers have a 1-point lead.
Can the Spurs now fight through this? They've given away the lead. The Lakers have taken it back, and they finish the deal.
Turkoglu nails it out there with Ori, Ginobili, Shane Heal, and Malik Rose.
With this group on the floor, Kobe's going to be the main guy. They have to lock into him. This is his 4th quarter. He's fresh, and he's the guy out there now that's going to try to do all the scoring.
Lakers come in undefeated. The Spurs unbeaten at home. Kobe Bryant with the rare miss. Rebound by Ginobili. Spurs come in 3-2 overall. Ginobili from the slashes way inside with the foul on the Los Angeles defense.
You know, I'm going to say this in a complimentary way. He's an awkward player. When you watch him, he's so quick, but he's sort of a herky-jerky kind of player. Those are the hardest players to guard because they keep you off balance. Earl Monroe used to be that way. He used to do all those spins and get you in the lane and pump fake you, and it was so difficult to guard. Ginobili is an emerging offensive player in this league.
Horace Grant just picked up his 1st personal foul. Going back to last season, the Spurs have won 4 straight over the Lakers, including 3 in a row here in San Antonio. The Lakers, one of 2 undefeated teams coming into tonight at 4-0. Ginobili has just tied a career high with 20 points.
Got to make Kobe a jump shooter. Keep him off the lane. Keep him off the line.
Derek Fisher. Ginobili with the rebound. He's all over the floor. He's got 7 rebounds tonight. Rose, little give and go. Ginobili lost it. Vacuums it back in. Ginobili! And the Lakers have not been able to inoculate themselves off of what has been a terrific career night for the Argentinian. Luke Walton, Horace Grant, and Luke Walton for 2. A Rose rebound. Spurs are -6 in rebounding so far. It's Ori spinning inside with the foul.
Well, Phil's got an interesting lineup here right now. They had taken the lead at 79-78, 6 straight points by the Spurs. You have Luke Walton out there with Brian Russell and Horace Grant, really 3 guys who are not going to score, so it's either going to be Kobe or Derek Fisher. When will Phil come back in with Karl Malone, Peyton, and Shaq to try to finish this game?
Walton, yeah, good question. Walton picks up his first foul. Here is Ori at the free throw line. He is a career 74% free throw shooter, and this year he is 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Tomorrow night on ESPN, it's the Timberwolves and the Magic, followed by the Trailblazers and the Sonics. Coverage 8 o'clock Eastern. NBA TV, Mavericks and Spurs, Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern time. And Sunday, the Kings take on the Celtics at 6 o'clock Eastern time. That's the national TV schedule. As Robert Ori hits it. And the Spurs have hit 16 consecutive free throws.
Well, they answered the challenge. 8 straight points after the Lakers had taken the lead.
Lakers are shooting 48%. Kobe Bryant hang glides in for 2.
That's what you've got to take away from him. I know it's easier said than done, but you've got to try to make him be a jump shooter.
Spurs shooting 48% from the floor. And Robert Ori is inside, grinding on Walton. Shane Heal. Over Walton. And caught by Russell. No Tim Duncan tonight. Sprained his ankle a couple nights ago, out 1 to 3 weeks. Of course, Tony Parker remains out. He's missed a handful of games, preseason and regular season both. He'll be out another couple games.
Somebody's got to come give help.
Rebound by Rose, outlet to Ginobili, shot by Russell. That's about the only way they've been able to stop Manu Ginobili tonight, as Russell is hit with the second foul of the evening.
See, no weak side defense. Normally this is a shot blocker coming over. No one there. Malik Rose is the only one underneath the basket. He's not big enough to bother Kobe. And then good foul here by Brian Russell. Otherwise, Ginobili would have turned the corner and probably had an easy basket. I'm expecting probably at the 8:59 mark at the timeout for Phil to come back with Shaq and maybe Gary Payton.
It's Horace Grant working on Malik Rose, and the shot clock is down to 10 across the lane. Rose. Rebound by Russell and a Rose foul.
See, the one thing you don't want to do, Kevin, is commit a foul like that, because it starts getting you closer to being in the penalty, and free throws become vital in the fourth quarter when the game gets in the half court.
The Spurs have led by as many as 11. They've led most of the game. Lakers have led by as many as 3. Timeout.
Bryant trying to shake off Bowen. Here's Ori for 3. Robinson with the rebound. That was in and out. Watch this ball. It is halfway in and back out again. The San Antonio Spurs hold on for a 2-point victory.
That was the drama on TNT last spring. Robert Ori, in a quote after that game, said it felt like crying on the floor.
Well, remember that same shot he hit against basically from the top of the circle against Sacramento that did go in. The Lakers then went on and won that series in 7, eventually won the championship. But Robert Ori, a big game shooter, I think he was shocked even as poorly as he was shooting that ball did not go down.
Kobe Bryant has 25. Shaq's got 24 to lead the Los Angeles Lakers. 22 from Manu Ginobili. Let's go to Cheryl Miller.
And Kevin and Doug, a real quick tidbit. In 5 trips to the SBC Center, do you know that the Lakers have yet to win 2 during the regular season, 3 during the playoffs? And Doug, quick question. Does that play, I know it's early on in the season, but does that play heavily in the Lakers' mind?
I think it does. I think until you beat a team in a building, especially being short-handed tonight, this would be an amazing win. You know, Cheryl, if the Spurs could hold on and get this without Parker and Duncan.
Here comes Fisher the other way for the Los Angeles Lakers. Kevin George back in. George is scoreless tonight. 0 of 3. Kobe. George. Stripped of the ball, knocked it out of bounds. 7 seconds on the shot clock.
Poor Devin George can't get a break. Thought he got fouled. He still has not scratched tonight. No points.
How about the free throw shooting? Spurs 21 of 23. Lakers 13 of 22.
The difference in the game right now is that free throw line. There's Devin George finally with a jumper to go.
Good smooth stroke. He's got his first 2 tonight. Lakers to within 3. Shane Heal. Starovich back in. Turkoglu on top. And Fultz down the lane with a finger roll. Counted for 2 and a foul.
This guy could be the difference in the game right here for the Spurs because he can score. And he's big enough when he gets in the lane to be able to finish. Goes right around Brian Russell, beats him with a quick first step. Shaq comes over. Devin George comes over, the little flip at the basket. And that's a big answer for the Spurs here after Devin George stepped out to hit the jump shot. But keep your eye on Turkoglu at the end of this game because he's the kind of guy that could get hot and throw up big numbers. Remember now, when he was with Sacramento, he played in a lot of big playoff games against the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals.
Devin George now has 5 fouls, a concern for Phil Jackson. He's the only player in severe Laker foul trouble. Spurs have 2 with 4. Starovich 4 fouls, Willis with 4 fouls, and that's it.
Paul Malone's been sitting for a long time when we see him.
And Shaq doubled, held by Malik Rose and a foul. Rose will pick up that, and that is number 3 on him.
I love this time of the game, Kevin, right now. Strategy, how to use fouls, matchups. This is when it's at its best right here.
Ginobili knocks it away on the Laker inbound pass. Leads him the other way. Heal watching a 3. Spurs tonight have gone 5 of 9 3-point shooting.
Well, Brian Russell is not a good passer, and that's the one thing I learned when I was coaching. He's not a guy that you want to really throw that ball in bounds. He made a careless play there. And Shane Heal, had he hit that 3, that would have been a big basket. That would have put him up 9.
Lakers have only hit 2 3-point shots tonight, 2 of 8. Rose, and picked up by Starovich. Saved by George. Out of bounds off goes Russell.
Starovich got to dunk that one. This time of the game, no little flippers. You got to go up strong right now. Power.
If he still has any juice.
Oh, he's got to get the juice right now.
Like Malik Rose inside.
Remember that possession right there. They had a chance to go up 8. Let's see what happens.
Bryant, they rotate to Russell for 3. Rebound claimed inside by Shaq. Doubled, hit, and foul. Rose again. Number 4, Malik Rose.
Look at Shaq. This guy is so strong. He just sort of moved his arm. He knocked over Shane Heal. Goes up between 3 guys. Now can he step up to the line and make the free throws? With those second shots, you know, Kevin, that's one of the things we talked about. Key for the Spurs was defensive rebounding.
Shaq from the free throw line tonight has gone 7 of 10. You know, you were wondering which of the 4 future Hall of Famers would sacrifice his game for the good of the Lakers. It might be Malone, but really, they're all scoring in double figures. They're all, it seems like, getting sufficient shots a game.
I think they all have. You know, their shot attempts are basically even. They're averaging 27 assists a game. And I think they have all said, you know what, we all have to be able to give a little bit here if this is going to work.
Rebound by Rose and the Shaq miss. Lane violation. That is the 3rd lane violation tonight on San Antonio, and all 3 have occurred when O'Neal has been at the line. We may not see that an entire season. We have seen it 3 times in 3 quarters.
The guy who used to do that with all the time was Anthony Mason. He had that little hitch in his shot, and that's a point you just gave away. That's big. Now, all of a sudden, now it's a 4-point game instead of a 5. I mean, that's big come time to finish this game.
Nice fake by Turkoglu, and he was working on Payton, who was seduced into faking. Gambler. A foul on Gary Payton that is number 3.
And that's more importantly in the penalty for San Antonio. They have won the battle of the free throw line thus far. Let's see now if they can take advantage of it here in the last 6:52.
Shaquille O'Neal's 26 points leads all scorers in this game. Turkoglu. The NBA on TNT returns next Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern. The Rockets will take on the Mavericks. And the Kings will battle the Trailblazers. TNT Thursday. Let the truth be told.
What a great game last night. Sacramento and Minnesota. Sacramento winning a big game, 125-121. Stojakovic was brilliant.
It's Kobe Bryant handing off to Fisher, picked up by Hart. Fisher for 2. Nesterovic with the big-time rebound. Spurs are -9 in rebounding. Hart. Nesterovic. Rose. Up by Shaquille O'Neal. That's the second on Shaq.
Good foul by Shaquille O'Neal. He sort of slid up the lane as Nesterovic went to the high post. Nesterovic, a nice little touch pass. He can pass the ball. He did that so many years with Kevin Garnett, that little high post feed to Kevin Garnett when he was posting. And there he did it with Malik Rose. Now again, it's important these Spurs make these free throws. Pull the string on it, so that's 2 of the last 3 that they've missed. The points they've given away, Kevin.
You know, Doug, I am looking at the San Antonio team, and I know they won the championship a season ago, but Greg Popovich might have compiled even a deeper, more talented team this year in defending that time.
Well, I think time will tell, but I think he has to be very happy with his team's competitiveness tonight. Remember now the Lakers, there's an offensive foul on Payton as Ginobili, who's been the man on the spot everywhere tonight, takes the foul. Kevin, I think I talked with Frank Hamlin before the game, the assistant for the Lakers, as Payton here just sort of lowers his shoulder and runs over Ginobili. And the Spurs bench are very happy with that, the emotion, but I think the Lakers were hoping for a little easier game tonight. They have to play in New Orleans tomorrow night in a back-to-back.
And New Orleans is in first place at 4-1, waiting in Louisiana. The NBA on TNT tonight, brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Sign up for America's Choice Family Share Plan. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. By the United States Marine Corps, the change is forever. By Dr. Seuss's The Cat in the Hat, starring Mike Myers, November 21st. And by Yahoo. Search faster, easier, bingo. A lot of interesting numbers with tonight's game. Let's take a look at the Marines game summary. And a lot of it has to do with what Ginobili has done on the floor for the San Antonio Spurs.
Well, he's been terrific. Shaq has been great tonight. The bench is plus 18 San Antonio. Interestingly, this game, the Lakers 52 to 30 points in the paint. They're plus 22. But the Spurs are plus 9 from the free throw line and plus 9 from beyond the arc, from the three-point line. So the outside shooting and the free throw line has balanced out the power of Shaq in the lane tonight.
So when I asked you before the game how they're going to manufacture points without Tim Duncan, that's your answer.
Well, I didn't expect them to shoot the ball as well as they have, and this guy right here has been, this might be his coming out party.
He's put in a career high 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists for Manu Ginobili. Shaq across the lane.
That was too easy.
O'Neal's got 28 points and 12 rebounds, the only player in the game with the double-double. Ginobili again down the lane. Finger roll will not go. Rebound by Malone. Kobe at the other end. Saves it from going out of bounds. And scooped up by Nesterovic. 5.5 to play. Ginobili tried to slide inside for Malik Rose and out of bounds off the Lakers.
See, Ginobili is one of these players that you've got to give him freedom to play. He's going to make some mistakes, but he's a relentless player, and he's going to keep attacking that basket. He's going to make spectacular plays, but he also is going to make some turnovers, and you just have to live with those.
Ginobili for 3. Oh, Manu Ginobili! He is beating Phil Jackson's Lakers every which way tonight, inside and out. 27 points, 9 in the fourth quarter. And Shaq goes right at Nesterovic and drives for 2.
Well, the big Diesel's got it rolling right now in the fourth quarter. The question is going to be, can San Antonio keep scoring enough to win the game? Because the Lakers are going to be able to score. Can the Spurs keep scoring?
That's the shooting right there. Hart. And this kid has come out of no place. A street free agent with 12 points and 4 assists on a 5 of 8 shooting night from the field.
No Duncan. This team's averaging 80 points a game with him. They have 98 against one of the better defensive teams.
Kobe Bryant. Oh, and he's had it tonight. 12 of 17 and 27 for Kobe Bryant. It's Nesterovic, Ginobili. Bryant played on the defense. Great offensive rebound by Nesterovic.
Jason Hart's got to be very careful. Kobe Bryant is leaking out after those shots. Jason Hart has got to protect the backcourt against fast breaks.
Here comes Hart. Nesterovic wide open. Picked up by Gary Payton, lost the ball. Here comes Devin George. Kobe. Ginobili faked out beautifully by Kobe Bryant, who then gets the loose ball and keeps it alive for the Lakers. Under 4 to play. George for 3. Good! Devin George scoreless until the fourth quarter. He has put in 5, and the Lakers are back in business, down by 4.
Loose balls. Gosh, you got to come up with those. Ginobili missed that by about a fraction. Devin George buried it.
Shot clock at 6.
This is where they're going to get themselves in trouble right here.
Hart. You're right. Shot clock violation.
This is what Pop had talked to us before the game. He knows if they get into a half-court game, they're going to struggle against the Lakers' half-court defense. Question is, how much do the Spurs have left? Can they push the tempo here the last 3:20?
San Antonio commits their first fourth quarter turnover. Spurs have turned it over 11 times. The Lakers have 15 turnovers in the game. Go inside. There's a foul. Hart down low, trying to guard, and he picks up number 3. 3:05 to play. Here's Devin George at the free throw line, penalty both ways. George tonight from the stripe. First appearance right now.
Well, this is exactly what the Lakers did the other night to Milwaukee. Milwaukee had a double-digit lead, and the Lakers went on a 24-10 run to finish the game, to win that game on the road. And it's going to be interesting to see again the Spurs. Can they hold off and win this game tonight?
Okay, here is our NBA.com promo, a poll. Who is the greatest center of all time? Chamberlain getting 37%, Shaq at 22%. Russell at 7%. Somewhat surprising.
That's a tough crowd when Bill Russell gets 7% of your...
If John Thompson were here right now, he would absolutely explode.
The guy won like 11 championships or something.
Oh my God.
Man, tough crowd.
LA has missed 10 free throws tonight. That is the difference. Spurs by 3. Ginobili slashing his way down the lane. Picked up. Here comes Kobe at the other end with the fake and 2 and a foul. And Kobe Bryant finds 2 with the free throw. The Lakers can tie the game.
Remember I talked about transition defense. Jason Hart has got to get back. You see Greg Popovich talking right now to Bowen and Jason Hart. No one is protecting the backcourt. So as Ginobili goes to the basket and misses, Kobe is leaking out. Look, they throw ahead, and nobody's back there. Your point guard has to protect back. Lakers trying to get back in this game. San Antonio by 1. I'm going to talk about transition defense. Right here is Jason Hart. Here is Bruce Bowen. When this shot goes up, watch Kobe just leak out. Your guards must protect against this. They get frozen, and watch what happens. They throw ahead, and now Kobe goes to the basket. Both Jason Hart and Bowen slow getting back. Kobe now with the opportunity to tie this game. At the 4:53 mark, the Spurs led by 9.
Lakers have led by as many as 3, but that was early in the game. Spurs have led most of the game by as many as 11. We've had 15 lead changes, 8 ties, but number 9 might be in front of us. Spurs by 1. Bryant trying to complete the 3-point play and does. Kobe Bryant with 30 points, Shaq with 30, and 2:40 to play in regulation. Here comes Hart. Bryant is there, Ginobili out there along with Nesterovic, Rose, and Bowen, and a turnover. And the Lakers can take a lead here.
That was a tired play. This young guy spent so much energy.
Lakers on a 9-0 run. Here comes Shaq for the lead. Up and no, and picked up by O'Neal. Boy, there was so much colliding inside that congested lane, and a foul is called on the Spurs. They tag Ginobili with his 4th.
See, this is where you really miss the tall front line. See, the Lakers 16-6 in offensive rebounds. Kevin, you got Malik Rose, who's an undersized power forward in there, and Nesterovic. Normally, you got 2 big guys. It used to be Duncan and Robinson, Duncan and Nesterovic. Now, all of a sudden, you're losing that size, and the Lakers, those second shots punish you at the end of games. And you think Tim Duncan doesn't want to be out there right now? Look at those eyes, as he wants so desperately to try to help his team win this game.
Lakers have their first lead in a long time. Shaq missing that second free throw. And a foul on Devin George. That is number 6, and he is gone. He picked up 3 quick ones to begin the second half, and so now Phil Jackson's got to go to his bench.
The reason Mark Davis called that foul, if he didn't, he would have had to call a traveling violation, because Bowen came down and he walked with the ball because he was knocked off balance. But watch this now as Bowen goes up. He rebounds the ball and he gets caught up, and right there he travels with the basketball, so if he doesn't call the foul, he has to call the travel.
Bowen hits the first of 2 free throws, and he ties the game at 99. Free throw shooting tonight, the Lakers have gone 18 of 29, and the Spurs have gone 26 of 30 from the stripe. Lakers with Malone. Fisher takes the place that just fouled out. Devin George, Peyton, Shaq, and Kobe.
No layups for Shaq right now, Kevin. You got to make him make free throws. You got to take a foul no matter what it takes.
Go inside, knocked away as Peyton tried to squeeze the trigger. Nesterovic got a hand on it. The San Antonio Spurs have missed their last 4 shots. That's the game reset right there. 1:38 to play in regulation. Rose with Nesterovic giving a screen. Got it back on the deflection by Fisher. Here comes Peyton. For the lead, Derek Fisher. Rebound by Bruce Bowen with 1:20 to play.
What a great rebound by Bruce Bowen. Looked like Shaq was going to get that ball. He just went and took it away from him. Great play. 8-second violation here.
How about that by the young kid who was signed off the street, the 5th of 5 different point guards that the Spurs have had to use this year because of injury.
Now when it goes to 16 on the clock, it's a violation, so you're going to see what happens here. Bowen pulls it back, and the referees don't have to count. All they do is when they look up at 16, and right there 16, he's not crossed it yet, and that's the violation.
That's pretty close. It's the Lakers down by a point with 1:14 to play.
To illustrate this, take a look here now. 16 on the clock, and you can see that Jason Hart has not crossed the midcourt line yet, so just sort of a lapse in judgment, and those are the kind of plays that you just can't make at the end of the game when you're trying to beat the Lakers short-handed, Kevin.
And this is Tim Duncan time, this is Tony Parker time, and the Spurs trying to survive without either of those 2 guys.
Well, the sad part about it, if you're the Spurs, also, too, when you're defending the Lakers, they've got 5 guys out on the floor that you have to guard. Fisher can spot up and hit the shot. You can go to Kobe, you can go to Shaq, Malone, or Peyton. So this is where the Lakers now have really deepened themselves with the addition of Malone and Peyton.
Los Angeles Lakers tonight have shot 47% from the field. The San Antonio Spurs have shot 45%.
Again, you cannot let Shaq dunk or lay the ball in. If you can with Kobe Bryant, you try to make him a jump shooter as best you can. I would expect him to go to Kobe.
inside, Shaquille O'Neal's got 33 points, and he puts the Lakers on top by 1.
Great execution.
Nesterovic, Malik Rose against Karl Malone. Go inside, it's a foul on Malone. Spurs have made only 2 points on their last 8 trips up the floor. Malone's got 4 fouls.
See, I think Derek Fisher can go back and help on that. Jason Hart is on the floor right now, and I think if there's anything you want them to do, make Jason Hart make a jump shot. They're isolating there with Rose, and we talked about his free throw shooting, 89% on the year. Last one, though, he pulled a string on, made only 1 of 2. He needs to get both of these.
The free throw attempts tonight, Doug, basically the same. It's been the makes at the line, which has been the difference. The Spurs have made 27 free throws. The Lakers have made only 18, but basically the same number of attempts both ways.
Well, the Lakers are a 65% free throw shooting team. That we know that's one of their weaknesses.
Rose has 12 points, 2 assists, 6 rebounds.
Pressure, he's made 2 of his last 4.
We're tied. Screen by Malone. Kobe Bryant's got 30. Over Rose. Rebound by Bowen.
Now you got to get it across half court, Jason. Get it across. Last possession here. Shot clock's turned off. Timeout San Antonio. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. A terrific game with 2 powerhouse teams in the NBA as you're watching TNT. Take us inside the Greg Popovich huddle. Well, I would think that he would like to get the ball to Ginobili if he could and let him try to penetrate and either get to the basket and get a free throw or a score, or somebody else maybe kick out for an open shot. The question is, will Ginobili be able to get his hands on the ball coming out of this timeout? I'm sure the Lakers are going to try to deny him as much as they can. Robert Horry is in the game. I think this is a great substitution. Jason Hart is out of the game, so Pop comes in with another shooter. I think he's going to put Shane Heal in the game as well.
Spurs have not hit from the field in almost 5 minutes. The undefeated Lakers are tied on the road in San Antonio with 9.3 on the 4th quarter clock. Ginobili will inbound. Rose. Ginobili inside for the lead. Picked up by Malone. Here comes Payton. And a timeout. Lakers have called time with 1 and 6/10 seconds remaining in regulation.
Oh, they ran a great play. Ginobili threw the ball in, and then he made a back cut, a great pass. It looked to me like Malik Rose was going to dunk that ball, but watch now Ginobili cuts away from the ball. A nice pass. Takes it off the glass, and look at Malik Rose. I thought he had an offensive rebound there at the last second. The Lakers knocked it away. Question is, how much time left on the clock? A great back cut, and Shaquille O'Neal just there enough to distract him off that shot.
They have reset the clock to 2.6. So even more time for the Lakers. We'll get the inbound. We're tied at 1-0. Now down to 2.1.
Well, they're going to have to take it
right
3/4 court here.
Exactly. Before the midcourt and their backcourt. Here's what's happened in the 4th quarter. Second chance points in favor of Los Angeles, and Kobe is dropped 10 in this quarter on the San Antonio Spurs. This is Robert Horry last year for the Lakers. Missing what would have been a game-winning shot.
And here's what the Lakers are doing. They're taking a 20-second timeout. They used a full to get the ball on the side. You can move it now with a 20, so you have to take the extra one to be able to move it to half court, which will give themselves a chance to get another score. So you had to use an extra timeout now, because once you dribble the ball after you've secured a rebound, when you take the timeout, you don't get a chance to move it ahead, so you had to use 2 timeouts there.
What do you think Jackson is planning in the Laker huddle?
I would expect you're going to see Kobe coming off some kind of screen and trying to catch the ball and maybe a couple dribbles and shoot, or maybe a direct pass right in the post to Shaq and let him power the ball right to the basket. Look for him trying to catch the ball right from the sideline, right into the low post area and go right to the basket. This is why it's important to keep your timeouts at the end of games. If the Lakers had none, they would have had to go 3/4 court. Now with them having a full in the 20, they can move it and have a chance to win the game.
Big 4 out there for Los Angeles along with Derek Fisher. Hart Rose, Bowen, out there Nesterovic and Ginobili. 2.1 seconds remaining in regulation. We're tied at 101.
Like Kobe's going to run baseline off Shaq and look for them to throw the ball right in the post from Gary Payton.
Malone with the fake in for the win. We got overtime.
Karl Malone had not taken a shot for a long while, only 5 of 14.
And it wasn't even close.
Malik Rose did a nice job there. When he did leave his feet, he did not allow Karl Malone to bait him into a foul. Question is now, as we go into break, do the Spurs have enough in the tank for 5 more minutes, already playing shorthandedly, Kevin?
Overtime in San Antonio.
Just lag the ball. Don't try to bring the ball up against pressure. You're making too many errors. No foul.
That is Steve. Active on Shaq. He's on the block, like I've been saying. We're all over. Go at him on the dribble. Go and rotate. All right?
Well, the San Antonio Spurs led by 9 with just under 5 minutes to play in regulation. Los Angeles goes on a 12-3 run to force overtime. Lakers are unbeaten, one of 2 unbeaten teams in the NBA at 4-0. Seattle is the other. San Antonio tonight without Tim Duncan, without Tony Parker, their 2 best players. They're 3-2, but they're undefeated, 3-0 at home.
Kevin, how about you think back now, San Antonio had 3 free throw lane violations. You look at a 1-point game, and it's those little things sometimes it can cost you. Will they be able to play through some of those mistakes? You see Shaq and Kobe 63 points tonight, the rest of the team only 38. That's sort of like last year. Going into tonight's game, they were only 44% of the offense as opposed to 57% of the offense last year. Kevin, points in the paint. Lakers 60, Spurs 32. The Lakers are plus 28 points in the paint, and that's why Greg Popovich was talking about when Shaq gets it down there, you got to go at him, make him pass the ball, and rotate out.
Kobe Bryant tonight has played 39 minutes. Shaq has played 40 minutes. Both players are over 30 points tonight. Oh, and a crash, a collision with Ginobili and Fisher. As they were both leaping for the loose ball, Ginobili will pick it up.
See, he was going to steal the tip. He read where Shaq was going to tip it. He tried to get back there and just couldn't quite get there soon enough. I tell you, the more I watch this Ginobili, the more I fall in love with him as a player. He is reckless. He's tough. He's fearless. He's getting into that trash talking a little bit now with Gary Payton. I'm sure that Pop does not want him to do that because Gary will win that battle.
5 fouls on Ginobili, a career night tonight with 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. The points in the paint, staggering lead for the Lakers there.
60-32. I mean, it's amazing this game is even in overtime. Plus 28 for the Lakers.
Spurs have made 27 free throws. Lakers have made 18. And the Spurs have hit 6 threes. The Lakers have hit 3 3-point shots tonight. Karl Malone, Derek Fisher. And it's back to Malone. guarded by Rose. Boy, he has missed badly on 2 successive shots.
He's been out of the flow of the offense. He's 5 of 15, but I think he's only taken about 2 shots the entire second half.
It's Rose drawing the double.
They're going to double off Jason Hart right now. They're going to make Jason Hart make a jump shot.
Ginobili trying to squirm his way free. Across the lane. 29 for Manu Ginobili.
I'm really shocked that the Lakers are not helping off of Jason Hart. You got to make him make some jump shots, Kevin.
That was the first San Antonio field goal in 5.5 minutes. A long drought.
Ginobili's got to be very careful with his fouls.
Here comes Shaquille O'Neal drawing the double. Outside, Kobe for 3. Caught by Ginobili. Rebounding in the game. Lakers are plus 10. Bowen was kicked by Davis.
Ginobili on the drive. See, Derek Fisher's right there. I'm surprised he just doesn't go down and attack him and make him kick that ball out to Jason Hart. Ginobili's the guy right there. You got to make him be a passer.
Here comes Kobe Bryant. Lakers are shooting 45%. Same shooting percentage for the Spurs. Great pass to Malone from Payton. What a pass by Gary Payton inside to Karl Malone.
Well, he got the double team, and Karl Malone just slashed right to the basket. Made it look very easy.
Payton's got 6 assists tonight. Ginobili, career night. And Jason Hart.
You know what? I got to give the young guy credit. He stepped up and made the shot. Now, this is a guy who 10 days ago was not even on this team.
He was on the street as a free agent. 6 of 10 from the field and 14 points for the Syracuse Orangeman, Jason Hart. It's Shaq across the lane, sweeping inside. Out of bounds up Los Angeles. You got it, baby.
Well, 2:53 to go in overtime, and Manu Ginobili is the man on the spot here. The first possession, you're going to see him drive the ball to the basket. Derek Fisher sort of digs and helps, but allows him to get into the lane. So they come back and run a play again. This time, Ginobili penetrates, and you're going to see Fisher make the commitment. He comes over and stops him. See 3 guys said, now you're going to pass the ball, and there's Jason Hart here, wide open right here. They give the young man a lot of credit. He buries a jump shot here. Again, this is a guy who was not even with his team 10 days ago.
Foul problems for the Spurs. 5 on Ginobili. Then they've got 4 with 4 fouls. Rose, Nastarovich, Hart, along with Willis, who we have not seen in a while. For the Lakers, Kevin George is fouled out. They got 4 on Malone and 4 on Payton. Aside from that, they're pretty clean.
Critical guy, though, for the Spurs is Ginobili. He has 5 fouls. He's got to find a way to stay on the floor here. They cannot win this game if he fouls out.
Lakers have 15 turnovers, and the Spurs have 13 turnovers, and a pretty sizable advantage, plus 11 on the glass for the Lakers. 52 rebounds to 41.
See what the Spurs get coming out of this timeout. Popovich wants to get a good offensive possession.
Here's Nastarovich with 14 points tonight and 9 rebounds. Ginobili with 29. And he'll stay there. Rose, offensive rebound, inside dives. Picked up by Karl Malone.
Well, they ran a great play. Ginobili got a wonderful shot, and then Rose just missed a point-blank putback.
17 rebounds for Malone, 14 rebounds by Shaquille O'Neal. Here's Shaq, who also has 33 points. Fisher looking for the top.
Derek Fisher. How many times have we seen cool, calm, collected Derek Fisher?
Screen by Rose. Ginobili down the lane of foul. He's got that quick first step, doesn't he?
Well, he's a lefty, too, and he's a little bit awkward, as I said before, but he's quick. Watch him use the sort of a change of pace dribble. Lakers slow getting over. There's the foul by Malone. Shaq did get the shot blocked, but too late. But every possession now for the Spurs, they've got to knock these free throws down.
Malone, 5 fouls, and here is the former Italian League Player of the Year. He's also the Italian League Slam Dunk Champion and the #1 European player that came into the NBA a season ago.
He reminds me a lot of Sharunas Marciulionis, who played for Golden State. Strong, quick, left-handed.
Good comparison. Kobe Bryant has put in 30 points. Screen by Malone. Shot clock is down to 4. Kobe over Bowen. Great defense by Bruce Bowen. Deflected out of bounds.
Now how much time is on the shot clock?
That's right, they're going to have to reset because 2 seconds.
Watch it here. The ball gets excellent defense by Bruce Bowen. You see the spin taken off the shot just enough.
Good call, too, by official Mark Davis.
They try to lob the ball right to Shaq underneath the basket. And Fisher out here behind the three-point line.
2 on the shot clock. Into Shaq, held by Nesterovic. And they'll put O'Neal, who is 9 of 13 at the free throw line.
It's a pretty good option, isn't it? Just to sort of throw the ball up to Shaq. He goes up with one hand and sort of palms it.
Wow. When you play like the Spurs are tonight without your big guns and play this well against an undefeated team like the Lakers, it's got to do a lot for your confidence.
It's called growth.
Fisher. Here comes Shaq.
Third shot opportunity.
Bryant for the lead. Kobe Bryant has given the Lakers a lead of 107 to 106.
See, that's where you miss Duncan. I mean, obviously in so many different ways, but being able to get the defensive rebounds. I think that's about 20 offensive rebounds now for the Lakers.
Ginobili. Kobe fouls him. Inside collides with Shaquille O'Neal. And Shaq picks up number 3. He is fearless, is this Manu Ginobili.
He's got one thing on his mind. He doesn't even see Shaq. Look at his eyes, right at the basket. That's a hard foul by a big man, and Ginobili didn't even blink.
I can't look either, lady. And it's 8 of 9, now 8 of 10 free throw shooting for the second-year NBA player.
That's why you have to take fouls. You can't allow layups. You've got to make players make free throws under pressure. Fatigue, pressure, it all adds up.
Ginobili last year, 74% from the line. This year, 87% from the free throw line. Spurs are only 6 of their last 11 from the stripe tonight. That was how they got that lead on Los Angeles most of the game. Fisher. For the lead. Derek Fisher nails another one, taking the place of the fouled out Devin George. Fisher off the bench, 32 minutes, 11 points. He is putting 4 overtime Laker points tonight.
Well, Greg Popovich wanted a foul on Derek Fisher. Jason Hart tried to take the offensive foul, went down, and Fisher buries the shot, and the Spurs fans just cannot look. Heartbreaking, still a lot of time.
Well, tonight here in San Antonio, Texas, we have had a sensational early season NBA game in overtime, Lakers by 2.
Well, you talk about the free throw line, Kevin, and how things play out at the end of the games. The Spurs started 23 of 25 from the free throw line. They've missed 6 of their last 11, as you talked about. So at the end of the game, they've missed some critical free throws. They have played so hard, but they just have not been able to go up and cash in on their free throws, and they're a 72% free throw shooting team. That's one of the areas they struggle.
Nonetheless, the Spurs are plus 11 in points at the free throw line. Lakers are plus 14 in rebounding. The Spurs have hit 3 more three-point shots than Los Angeles tonight.
Lakers 64 of their 109 points in the paint. You think they missed Duncan?
Wow. 64 to 34. Incredible as ever. Ginobili. Malik Rose into Shaq.
Phil Jackson cannot be happy with his team's defense. Kevin, and one thing, we had the little sound bite with him, and he said, we got to stop fouling. This will be the 37th and 38th free throw attempts of the game for the Spurs. The Lakers normally a team that doesn't foul as much.
Rose is 8 of 10 from the free throw line tonight. 5 fouls on Gary Payton. He has brought texture and leadership to this Laker team. One more free throw and we're tied again with 50 seconds to play in overtime.
And watch Kobe Bryant on this play. He's going to try to shuffle cut to the post and get in the post against Bruce Bowen.
It's Payton. Snaps it outside to Karl Malone. He's taken one horrendous shot late in the game after another. It's out of bounds. It's off the Lakers, and the Spurs are inbound with 35 seconds left in overtime, and we're tied at 109.
Well, that could have been a foul on Shaq. He came over the top of Ginobili. That would have been 2 free throws, and it would have given the Spurs a 2-for-1 possession. Someone better come up here and help Jason Hart.
Full court pressure by Los Angeles. We've had 4 ties in overtime. Fisher is on Hart, who already has committed an 8-second violation tonight, but gets that cleanly past the midcourt stripe. Kobe's on Ginobili. Nice fake by Manu Ginobili to get free for 2. Here comes Payton, the final seconds in a tie game in overtime.
No timeout for the Lakers.
Kobe Bryant, guarded by Hart. Kobe for the lead. Over the backboard. They're going to put 1.4. Oh, they're going to change it again. I'm not sure how much time they're going to put on the clock.
Well, Jason Hart does a nice job of contesting Kobe's outside jump shot. The ball goes over the backboard. The Spurs will take timeout and advance it. Kobe very upset, thought he had a chance to win the game with that jump shot.
So the Lakers have had 2 tries, one by Malone and one by Kobe Bryant to put this on ice. They have added 0.3 of a second, so 0.7 with which to work for the San Antonio Spurs.
Kevin, I think we would admit that early in the season, we've seen some tough basketball games in terms of teams not shooting well, some low-scoring games. This has been all that's been advertised. I don't think either one of us expected this tonight with the injuries to the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, can the Spurs go into another overtime? Where are they getting this energy from right now, playing so shorthanded?
Yeah, we wondered before the game how they're going to manufacture points without Tim Duncan, but then you touched on something at the top of the broadcast about the mental side of the Lakers. Taking on a team without their 2 big guns, the point guard Tony Parker and the 2-time MVP Tim Duncan. Has that, in your mind, played a role with the Lakers' mind tonight?
No, I don't think so. I think what Phil would have liked to have done, I think he would have liked to maybe jumped on the Spurs early to discourage them. That didn't happen. But I think the Spurs have played a magnificent game. I think the Lakers have played a terrific game. It's a shame one of these teams is going to have to lose this game, and the Lakers are going to get on a flight and head down to New Orleans, probably get in about 3 or 4 in the morning and have to strap it on again tomorrow night and play.
And they've got a 4-1 first-place team down there that is playing very well for new coach Tim Floyd.
A 0.7 of a second, you have enough time to catch and shoot. At 0.3, it's only a lob. At 0.7, you can catch it, probably get 1 bounce in and a shot.
So who takes the shot for the Spurs?
I got to get it to Ginobili.
He's had a career high tonight. Timeout. Lakers showed their defense. A 20-second Spurs timeout with 0.7 remaining in overtime and the tie at 109.
I'm tired and I haven't even played. Look at Tim, dancing around there.
Bad ankle and all. You know, with Robinson gone, and of course in the past they've had Terry Porter and Steve Kerr and Danny Ferry, a lot of guys in that locker room that provided leadership. Now I think it really rests squarely on the shoulders of Tim Duncan.
And he said he's going to be more of a leader. He's going to be more vocal. He knows that he has to assume that responsibility. And I think he's welcome to that challenge. Our question is, can the Spurs get a shot off here against this Laker defense?
Bruce Bowen on bound. For the win, Ginobili. We go to our second overtime.
They ran a great play.
Oh, it was a good shot.
It was a great shot. I mean, Ginobili gets a wide open look with 0.7 of a second ago. You can't ask for anything more than that other than the ball going in the basket. He ran a great play. He comes off the screen. The Lakers don't switch.
We go to our second overtime in San Antonio. The NBA on TNT returns next Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time as the Houston Rockets will take on the Dallas Mavericks and the Kings will battle the Portland Trailblazers. TNT Thursday, let the truth be told. We go to our second overtime here at the beautiful SBC Center in gorgeous San Antonio. Think where the Lakers were a little more than a week ago tonight. The start of a new season, the Kobe-Shaq feud in full view. New big-name players, a lot of expectations, and now a 4-0 start. The best record in the NBA. And that's a pretty big statement, even for a team as talented as the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, they've got a lot committed to each other. We talked about opening night that once Kobe and Shaq had their little spat, that there was going to be a lot of healing go on, and I think that this team has worked very hard at that. They've played very good basketball, and they've had stretches where they haven't played great, but they played well enough to win, and I think that's all they can ask for right now. And I know that when we talked to Greg Popovich before the game, he talked to us about, he said, I want to be able to turn that tape on tomorrow and see that we've grown as a team. Well, you know what? He doesn't have to watch the tape. They've grown as a team.
Well said. Let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Well, Kevin and Doug, is really interesting to watch Coach Popovich out of this last timeout. Instead of sitting there drawing up the X and O's, he just sat there in front of his plays and said, hey, let's just run the same old stuff. He rubbed Ginobili's head and said, hey, I got you a great look. You got to just go out there, relax, continue to play hard, and work on that execution of the half-court offense.
But Kobe Bryant has gone to every Spurs player with a slap on the backside, and he looks as fresh as a daisy. I don't know where he's getting it because his conditioning was a concern. He's played 45 minutes in the game already as we enter this second overtime. Malik Rose diving inside the lane with the foul.
Well, I think the new construction of the Laker team has helped Kobe. He does not have to fight pressure so much. He's been able to, not bring the ball up as much, play away from the basketball so he doesn't have to work so hard, and I think it shows in how fresh he is right now.
Russell picks up the foul. Double free throw shooting tonight for the Spurs. 31 of 38. For the Lakers, 18 of 29. Injured Tim Duncan, out 1 to 3 weeks. Sprained an ankle a couple nights ago. No starting point guard Tony Parker. In fact, as we mentioned before, the San Antonio Spurs have gone through 5 different point guards since they opened camp. But they're all out because of injury, except the guy playing tonight, Jason Hart.
I think Tony Parker will probably be back next week before they have to take off for that East Coast trip.
Nice pass, Shaq to Kobe, inside, contorts for 2 and a foul. Great pass by Shaquille O'Neal with his 5th assist, his 16 rebounds, and his 33 points. An overall great performance again by Shaq inside and finding Kobe, who puts in 34.
Well, when you double team, you're going to leave somebody open, and Shaq is a great passer. That's the Lakers' 67th point in the paint.
Going to Starovich, Rose, Jason Hart, Manu Ginobili with a career night at the 5 on the floor for the San Antonio Spurs. It's Hart for 2 and uncovered. Bryant out there with Russell, Payton, Fisher, and Shaquille O'Neal. Malone is on the bench. George is fouled out. Lakers have led only by as many as 3. They're up now by 2. And Shaq, cover your head for Kobe Bryant. And the Lakers have their biggest lead tonight of 4.
That is their 28th point of offensive rebound. So if you want to look at the difference of rebounding and points in the paint, that is what the Lakers have been able to do tonight without the Spurs big man.
How much is left in the San Antonio tank? And that is a foul on Malik Rose. He's got 5. Shaq with 6 assists tonight.
Well, he finds a little, normally that's Kobe with a little lob to Shaq. Turned the favor there, and the Lakers now up. That ball went off Kobe's foot, so that'll be out of bounds. They tried to run a quick backdoor play, and Shaq just threw it off the back of Kobe's foot. But down 4 right now. With the Spurs, you got to get a basket here. I mean, you can just see the fatigue starting to set in, and when you don't score, it really takes it out of you.
And they missed their last 5 shots going back to the first overtime. Hart, Fisher is right there. Hart finally finds a little gap to take a shot. There's Shaquille O'Neal. Spinning by Ginobili, puts on the brakes, and Russell wide open to fire.
So Brian Russell's got to start making that shot. If he's going to help this team, Kevin, he's got to make those open jumpers. He's had about 3 of them here in this last period here. He's going to knock those in.
He's 0-4 since coming off the bench. Rose is hemmed in. Foul called. Fisher picks it up. What about conditioning? You know, this time of the season, it really almost shows itself more than in the middle of the season. The best conditioned teams early on usually show that pretty significant.
I think both these teams are very well conditioned. I think it shows the fact they can play at this level tonight. I was very impressed with the Lakers' conditioning open tonight against Dallas.
We're in our second overtime from San Antonio. Lakers by 4. You're watching the NBA on TNT.
Well, both teams have had their chances to win it before we got to double overtime. Kobe misses the jumper that would have given the Lakers the win. And then a great set play, 0.7 of a second. Ginobili has a wide open baseline shot that he can't get to go. So with both those shots not going down, we had to play an extra period, double overtime now, 2:45 to go. The Lakers holding on to a 4-point lead. Karl Malone is now checked back into the game after a rest.
You know, there are many stops along this game. It's lasted long. There have been many big plays both ways. How about that Robert Horry goaltending at the end of the third quarter? Remember that?
That and, you know, 3 free throw violations. You know, it's all those things play in, you know, to winning and losing basketball games.
Hart will be in there and inbounding with Nastarovich, Ginobili, Bowen, and Rose, and another foul. It's on Fisher.
That's a 2-shot foul actually against Kobe because the ball had not been thrown in yet. It's a 2-shot foul.
Right, you're right. He's got 4.
Ginobili's so tough to guard. Watch him change direction here, and he's strong, and he's going to run right into Kobe there as he tried to catch up with him. Smart play by Ginobili.
Who's 9 of 11 from the free throw line tonight?
He makes this, it's a 1-possession game. I mean, this 2:45 to go. There's still a ton of time in this game.
What a drop for the San Antonio Spurs, though, from the field. 5.5 minutes with nothing from the floor.
That's where you got to get to the line. When we talked about they're going to go zone here now. This is the first time we've seen the Spurs in a zone.
It's Fisher to Bryant. Karl Malone back in the game. Gary Payton. Shot clock is down to 7. Mismatch. Fisher guarded by Nastarovich. Rebound by Karl Malone. A fresh 24 with 2.5 to play. Fisher again looking inside for Shaq, who is held down by Rose. And for Rose, that is number 6, and he is gone. The first Spurs player to foul out tonight.
See, when you play a zone, one of the things that's tough to do is block out. And you got caught with Karl Malone rebounding against the guard on the weak side. That's why you get Robert Horry now. Robert Horry checking in. But again, the second chance opportunities. And Rose had to take that foul. You got to take one for the team.
Robert Horry is in, and disgruntled Malik Rose. 15 points tonight for Rose in 44 minutes. 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Lakers are shooting 45% from the field. Another miss by Fisher. 5 of 18 shooting from the floor. The Spurs' last field goal came with 3:15 left in the first overtime. We're in overtime number 2 right now.
Don't go to sleep on Robert Horry now. He'll shoot a 3.
Ginobili for 3. It's getting ragged, and you can tell there's not much left in the tank for either team. It's Payton slithering down the lane for 2. Lakers back up by 4. The foul is called on Horry for a third time.
Gary Payton loves that cut around it's called the pinch post area, and he loves to turn that corner. Robert Horry a little slow getting there. I think Robert's probably a little stiff. He's been sitting on that bench for a long time.
How about Payton, the first points that he has notched since the third quarter? So Payton has 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists tonight. The Lakers have their biggest lead of 5.
Must possession here.
Robert Horry, guarded by Malone, kind of willing his way down the lane. A foul called on Carl.
That's going to be 6 on Karl Malone.
Second Laker to foul out. He now and Devin George.
That's a smart play on Robert Horry. That's a veteran play. You put the ball on the floor, you feel contact, and you just throw the ball at the basket. And Karl Malone is upset, but he's made a living off that kind of play throughout his career.
How about Malone tonight? 15 points, 19 rebounds for Karl Malone. 43 minutes for the 40-year-old veteran of 19 years.
You know, I talked to him today in the hotel, and we were just talking about conditioning, and he said, you know, I run all summer, I run all game long, and when a guy plays against me, he knows that I'm going to be in top condition, and 19 rebounds, that's amazing. Shaq has 18. Those two guys have 37 rebounds between them.
We're talking about earlier tonight, great runners, big men that run. You ran, John Havlicek ran, and we pointed it out a week ago against Dallas. There may be no better runner in the history of the NBA than Karl Malone.
Especially as a big man. And his philosophy is, I'm going to run the entire game, and I don't think when it's the fourth quarter that you're going to be able to keep up with me. He did it for all those years in Utah, and he's continuing to do it here.
What do you think Shaq thinks to have a wingman who runs down there like that?
I remember when I was playing for the 76ers, I played with George McGinnis, and we signed Julius Erving. I said, I can't imagine we got George McGinnis on one wing and Julius Erving on the other.
3-point game with 1:21 to play. Kobe Bryant's got 37. Shaq has got 33. 33 for Manu Ginobili. Shaq inside, squeezing the trigger and a foul. There was a lot of congestion in there. Nesterovic was trying to defend. And Nesterovic fouls out with his 6th foul. So now he and Rose are gone for Coach Greg Popovich.
Well, Pop is very upset because he felt like that on that play that Shaq used excessive little arm there to knock Nesterovic back on his heels. I think what he's talking about there is what is a foul and what isn't. And again, I believe that Shaq is the toughest guy in the league to officiate. I mean, he's so powerful. What's a normal move? You see here, he's so strong.
Well, because you're right. Because what's a normal move for him is unlike any normal move for any other player in the NBA.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Now Nesterovic is fouled out, so now they are Turkoglu, who's been sitting on the bench for a long time.
Most of the second half, actually.
Now they have gone to the small ball here, so they're probably going to have to play a lot of zone here in the last minute 14.
Turkoglu has 5 points in the second half, but only 15 minutes for the game. So a fresh pair of legs on the floor for the Spurs. There's Shaq, 9 of 13 from the line, and now 9 of 14.
If he misses this, they're a 3-pointer away from time. I mean, you're a lot of time here, a 2-possession game.
Lakers have led by 5, and that's been in this overtime. The Spurs have led by as many as 11. And in regulation, the Spurs led most of the second half. 2 misses. And a Laker turnover on top of it.
Look, he stepped over the line. The free throw shooter, the rule is you cannot cross that line until the ball hits the rim. And watch Shaq here. He realizes it's short. He tries to chase it down before it hits the rim.
Your rule. And Shaq is one of the big violators of that rule. But there have been 3 lane violations on the Spurs with Shaq at the line tonight. So 10 for 10. Jason Hart, guarded by Fisher. Horry for 3. Oh! Robert Horry has tied the game at 117.
I told you, don't go to sleep on Robert Horry now. See, Shaq's got to cover him, so he's got to get out that 3-point line.
That breaks a drought from the field of over 7 minutes for the San Antonio Spurs. Kobe Bryant. Rebound by Russell and a fresh 24 for the Lakers.
Second shot.
It's Kobe Bryant. Oh, he wobbled. Bowen can't get it to go and out of bounds and off the San Antonio
this here. He picks the ball up. Now count them. 1, 2, 3. Wow, that is it's tough to guard that. Robert Horry with the big 3 to tie the game. You see this Spurs bench, and the happiest people right now in America are the New Orleans Hornets. They want the Lakers to play all night long.
They might. They might. We are in double overtime at the end of regulation, tied at 101. At the end of the first overtime, tied at 109. Now we're tied at 117. 24.3 with Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, Kevin Harlan. Lakers will have the ball.
Well, you know, 24.3, 24 seconds on the shot clock, so you can hold it basically for the last shot. And I'm sure that's what they're going to do. Probably what they're going to do is wind it down, get a shot, and say, maybe we can get an offensive rebound. But they want the last possession. They'd like to score in this possession to win the basketball game.
LA had a big lead of 5 at 117-112 with 90 seconds left in this second overtime. And the Spurs, 5 straight to tie the game for the 16th time, of this contest.
Well, it looked like the Lakers were in control. It looked like the Spurs had nothing left, and all of a sudden they summoned enough to get back into this game. Now can they get another defensive stop? Again, Willis is on Shaq, and you can't give him any layups. You got to take the foul. Hope he'll miss one free throw.
Malone is out. Russell is in with Fisher, Payton, Kobe, and Shaq. It's Kobe Bryant against Bowen. For the lead, Kobe Bryant. Rebound inside, Shaquille O'Neal, and fouled inside with 16.9 in overtime number 2.
I'm a little shocked the Lakers went so early on the clock. They had him in 24. And Kobe went to score here. I mean, if the Spurs get the rebound here, they've got about now 15 or 16 seconds to take a chance to win this game. I'm surprised they went so quickly with that.
Shaq 9 of 14 from the free throw line. Robert Horry will set the check in for the lead. O'Neal.
You know, Shaq has always said, I make them when it counts. And, you know, in the playoffs, he's come up with some big, big free throws. I remember that Sacramento series on the road, he stepped up and made some big, big free throws when they needed him.
Well, for the season, Shaq came into the game 8 of 25 tonight from the free throw line, 10 of 15.
Well, the most important thing is the Spurs have to come up with this rebound. You can't take for granted that Shaq is going to make it. You got to block out, and all 5 guys got to go to the boards.
Okay, Horry is in. Malik Rose is fouled out of the game, and here is Shaq again. Hits them both. 2-point Laker lead. And timeout with 16.9 seconds left in the second overtime. Well, this easily for the Los Angeles Lakers, the furthest they have been pushed in their 4-0 start to this season.
Well, they got off to a great start against Dallas and beat them very handily. Went on the road and got a win at Phoenix when Phoenix actually came back, and they made some big plays down the stretch to win at Phoenix. Go home and win a lackluster game at Golden State and had a nice win at Milwaukee. Milwaukee has played very well early in the season, and then they come in here tonight and then have to go to New Orleans tomorrow and play. So this is a tough little stretch of games for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, we mentioned that Robert Horry, of course, had played for the Los Angeles Lakers and won championships. There he was greeted by Shaq before the game. And remember how Robert Horry ended last season missing 24 consecutive three-point attempts in the playoffs. And sure enough, he changes uniforms and nails a triple against his whole team in overtime here tonight.
Well, they've got to be very careful now because Robert Horry is going to try to space the floor. It'll be interesting to see who Phil Jackson goes with here defensively. But when you're playing shorthanded as you are with Greg Popovich, you've lost Nesterovic, you've lost Malik Rose to fouls. You might go for a 3 to try to win this game. Normally the conventional wisdom at home, you play for the tie and try to go into overtime. But being shorthanded, they might try to go for the win here.
How about the fantastic 4 for the Lakers? Kobe, Shaq, Malone, and Payton. 102 of the Lakers' 119 points tonight.
see, now it's interesting. Kevin Willis is in the game. And now that allows Brian Russell, a smaller player, to play Ori. Had they gone to a smaller lineup, maybe Shaq would have had to play Ori.
Good point. Bowen. Hart. Fisher is on Hart. Ginobili for the tie. Willis for the tie. Rebound Shaq. And a foul by San Antonio. With 5:2 to play in the second overtime.
Looked like Kevin Willis had a chance maybe to go up strong with that ball. I think he rushed this when watch though. Shaq comes over to try to block the shot, which leads Kevin Willis right on the doorstep here for the offensive board. Looks like he has a great opportunity at it right there, but he went one hand with it instead of maybe two going up and trying to dunk that basketball. It's been a tough night for Kevin Willis after scoring his 17,000 point the other night. I think he's, what, 0 for 5 tonight?
0 for 5 in 15 minutes of play. And a big body like he is, they need him tonight with the absence of Duncan.
I don't know what the conversation is here about.
Brian Russell will be at the free throw line.
Foul.
Oh, this is a foul away from the ball. So this is really penal for San Antonio because it's going to be one free throw for Brian Russell and then the basketball.
Lakers by 2. Spurs can look at their poor shooting. Only 3 of the last 19 from the field, the last 5 minutes of regulation and overtime. Goes to Gary Payton, who's held by Hart. 4 seconds remaining in the second OT. So Payton, who is 3 of 5 at the free throw line, will be up there with 15 points. 48 minutes. Kobe has played 49 minutes. Shaquille O'Neal has played 50 minutes tonight. And he's over here looking at us for this second goal. 11 of 16 from the free throw line in this game.
We made the 2 big ones to give them the lead. And now if Payton can make 2, he'll salt this game away. Now, when he makes this one, it's still a 1-possession game. And the Spurs have a timeout. They can take timeout and move the basketball. But first and foremost, they got to get the rebound.
Payton is a career 73% free throw shooter, 69% in this season with the Lakers, and a timeout taken by the San Antonio Spurs. Trailing by 3. 4 seconds to play in the second overtime. Lakers trying to stay unbeaten and leading San Antonio late. The Lakers have 4 potential Hall of Fame players: Malone, Payton, Shaq, and Kobe. They would become the 28th team in NBA history to field 4 or more destined for the Hall of Fame. But the Lakers are the first since the '86 Boston Celtics, McHale, Bird, Parrish, and Bill Walton, a team that went on to win the title. Well, that's the balance scoring tonight.
I'm a little surprised Ron Mercer's not in the game right now to maybe shoot a 3 here. They've got, again, Willis in the lineup, and with that means Shaq doesn't have to guard a guy that can shoot a 3-point shot.
Hartland, Van, Ori, Kevin Willis, Turkoglu, and Manu Ginobili in the game. Hart. Willis for 3, rejected by Shaq. Ginobili trying to tap it in. That's it. The Lakers have won. And they have stayed undefeated at 5-0.
That was a great basketball game. That was 2 champions going at it, and the Lakers prevailed. But what a great game.
Kobe had 37, Shaq had 35 and 20 rebounds. 35 and 20 for Shaquille O'Neal. Malone, 15 points and 19 rebounds, and let's go to Sharon Miller.
Well, Shaq, obviously the Spurs come in empty-handed without their 2 main players that gave you everything that they wanted. Let me ask you something. What was the difference down the stretch, especially in the second overtime?
Down the stretch, I just think we took better shots, made some free throws. It was a tough game for us. You know, they came in, they played well, they shot the ball well. Previously, they've been shooting the ball 31, 30%. So we knew coming into that they were going to either shoot worse or better. But, you know, they shot the ball real well tonight. But, you know, we fought. You know, we got a lot of characters on the team, and we fought. Took us double overtime to get a win, but we're walking away with a win.
that you had been criticized for not making your free throws. Certainly wasn't the case. You said that, given the situation when you need to make your free throws, you'll make them, and you did that in the second overtime.
That's what I've been saying. That's what I'm going to continue to say. I don't really worry about percentage. My percentage wasn't that good tonight, but when I need to hit them, I hit them.
New Orleans tomorrow night, fatigue going to be an issue?
Excuse me?
New Orleans tomorrow night, second game of a back-and-back. Is it going to be fatigue going to be an issue?
Hopefully not, but we got a lot of guys, on the bench that's very talented, so hopefully the starters don't get out to a good start. Hopefully the second team come in and give us that lift we need.
All right, congratulations, big fella.
Okay.
Let's send it back to you, Kevin and Doug.
They're the most celebrated team in the NBA and undefeated at 5-0. And the Lakers win in double overtime tonight, 120-117. For Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, Kevin Harlan saying good morning from San Antonio as we send you to our studios.